my D20.
All right. Hello, welcome to another week of Doctors and Dungeon Masters. I'm Kelly Bryovic, a English student in Plan H at UWM, and I am the Dungeon Master.
I am Ryan House, a PhD student in Plan H as well, and I am Bogris the Druid.
Hi everyone, I'm Corey Hernai, Plan C PhD student, and I am Franz the Rogue.
I'm Airbear. I'm playing Megs the Warlock. I'm a PhD as well.
Okay. Can we have a recap from last week?
I did the last recap.
I'm having
You got
like
this,
more
Box.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
Anytime I ask my students a question. You mean you're not going to answer it?
We started right after we met the cactus guy.
We met the cactus guy, right? That's where we started last time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gave us some cacti to make food with. We made our way, I think, closer to another town that I can't remember the name of, and came across a lady named Mary.
Yep.
Is this ringing bells?
Oh, yeah,
she
she
was
had all
like
those
the old
kids,
woman who
yeah.
lived in Shu. Had so many kids she didn't know what to do. And she
Yeah.
gave us a lead on another individual from the list. We gave her all our cactus to help feed the children.
Yep.
And a nice chunk of change too. I think we
Yeah.
each gave her like 20 gold or something.
No, I did not do that.
Just you and I gave her
Yeah.
20.
Yeah,
Which
she got
was,
40
that
golds.
was all both of us had, right?
And so,
No, I still have some.
I gave her 20 out of 25, so I'm truly the most altruistic.
Clearly. And then we went into town, and then we were desperate for cash because
Oh yes.
everyone except me was altruistic. And then we went and killed a blobby, slimy monster thing. In which case you were. Mags was on the ground for most of the fight.
Yeah.
And then we came back to town, collected some gold, got a stamp of approval,
Mhm.
and then from some noblemen,
Mhm.
and then we took a long rest.
Yeah. Good memory.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, you were planning on going to the fancy inn because Bruna was
Yes.
a fancy person, and you figured she must have stayed.
We recognized this town from a dream we had a long time ago,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Is
Not the
is this
town,
same
but the
thing?
people within it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part too, but yes, some of the people you encountered,
Kind of important.
just a little.
Yeah.
Depends on who you talk to. So yeah, you are now after having just left the noble's house, you're standing outside of his gates. You know where most of the things of importance in the town are. So where do
And
you head?
it's late.
Yeah, we should go to the Fancy Schmancy Inn.
Okay.
Has a name.
Wait,
Red
no.
Top?
Yeah, wait, no.
Golden
Is it?
Dragon.
How late is it?
Close
Because
enough.
I remember that we left to go fight the babbling creature.
Oh no, you did that in the morning.
We slept at night. We went
Yeah.
and killed in the morning. We came back. So what time would it be right now?
I mean, it'd probably be around midday at this point.
How's it around? Oh no,
We
we
definitely did.
We
We
camped
went
out.
Yeah, we
We
camped out. I'm like, we didn't stay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember a pack of wolves came near, but Fox scared them off or something like that.
Yeah.
So-
Oh no, I think Silva led them away. Your
Okay.
spiritual owl. But yes, so you were well rested ish. Some of them better than
We
others.
slept outside for like 4 days
I
straight.
forgot what a bed feels like.
So it is midday. I think Mag still has some damage and spell slots like wasted from. Or did you sleep after the? Because like you fought the beast,
Mm-hmm.
went right to the person to collect your gold.
Have we short rested?
I think I kind of remember at the end of the session we said, okay, let's just go to the end, pass out, and that'll be our long rest.
It wasn't not the end because I got shit set up for the end. So it was definitely.
Well, I
Getting the
thought we
stuff from the
short rested after we killed the creature.
Oh, then
and
you
I
can short
used my
rest
hit
after that.
dice, and I'm at like full HP
Yeah.
according
then
to my
you're fine.
thing.
Okay.
So
The point is, it's not a long rest, so we got to keep track of the
and I'm a short
new
rest
spell
class, so
slots.
I have all my spells.
You're not wrong. All right, so
We show rest.
where are you going?
Well, I mean, we have the obvious lead at the inn to the Golden Dragon, I say.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So you head down to the Golden Dragon. It's a fancy. It's just like the remember that the fancy Applebee's inn that we talked about from the other one.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a chain.
Yeah, so it's an
Okay.
oxymoron.
Yeah, so you went to the Crystal Bird the last time. Now you're at the Golden Dragon. But the exception with this one, since it's a slightly larger town, they're a little bit more exclusive. And you see this well-dressed noble, kind of like those Buckingham Palace guards, where he doesn't look like he's heavily armed, but definitely like someone who was trained to some capacity.
They're gonna let
And
me
he's
in.
standing just outside there. Do you approach?
Okay, so do you think that this is the kind of place where we could just go in?
I cast Charm Person on him.
Okay. Let's make sure you're in range for that. What's the range for?
Good question.
And let's
I
get.
was going to suggest we would just, nod at him.
I
as we
would
walk in to
suggest
see if
we
he says
don't
something.
use magic to get into the place.
He said it.
I've already done it. 30
Alright.
feet. Lasts an hour.
I can't do any reaction
Alright,
to
1, 2,
stop
3,
him.
4.
And
I mean, what's your passive perception?
Mine?
Mine is 11.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy with this, Franz, or do you just do it?
I just do it.
How about this? Let's do a dex contest.
I know who has the higher deck.
It's a nat 1.
Oh wow,
Oh,
that's
man.
a 9 plus 2. That's 11.
But I am lucky.
Wait, so you're using a luck point?
Yeah, so that's actually going to be 10.
Oh!
So
I smack your hand.
So I still do it again.
another dex. Let's get.
I'm gonna attempt to grapple him.
Okay. First do a dex contest again.
I'm going to be embarrassed and just, like I don't know.
Do you have your hat on?
That's going to be
Okay.
15.
16.
Okay. So now
You've
strike
lost
count.
all your spell slots for the day. I'm just kidding, but anyway.
How many? Yeah, that's a level 1 spell. How many slots do you have for?
I've got 2 slots. However, it doesn't unless I am actually able to cast the
Yeah,
spell.
I was about to say that's
I
another
was kidding,
thing.
I'm sorry. Okay.
That was my
So-
next. But yeah,
I want to do like the older sister, grab his ear
Oh,
and
I forgot
pull him down.
proficiency. It's actually going to be a 17.
Okay,
it's-
then cast the damn thing.
No, he has to make he has to make like a
Yeah, you're
Wisdom
right.
saving throw.
All right, 1 second.
I hope he fails and you get thrown in jail.
That is in between. I'm gonna. Okay, that is a 19 plus his things, which I'm sure, regardless, you're like a baby magic user at this point. So I imagine that saves.
I mean,
And he
let's-
knows
Okay.
because it's not suggestion.
Okay.
And he's going to do a perception check. Are you trying to be stealthy at that point?
Sure. That's going to be a unnatural 20.
Okay. So you're able to. Can the two of you? You get your metal die and mags. Tell me how you try and hide your way. You know, like, do you duck behind one of them? Do you go behind like a building? How do you try and stealth your way out of this dude's sight?
I am just going to.
Or just be like like aloof.
I'm
or
gonna
something
move
like
up to him and start talking to the guard.
Yeah, I'm just going to start just like sauntering away.
that. Okay.
I'm trying to distance myself from
You
this
are
ruckus.
you're
Yeah,
in your top hat,
Mhm.
right? You're
The sun hat.
disguised. You're,
Oh yeah, it's a sun hat with a sunflower.
Oh,
It's bomb as shit.
what does he
Yeah.
look like right now then?
How does Boggs look
Oh,
like right now?
don't I have to roll something just to know if I'm
Well, it's
sorry.
you rolled that one time, and unless you took it off,
Oh,
you
okay.
don't have to re-roll.
I'm gonna look. I mean, I look like a
He looks like Ryan. No.
I look like a commoner, but I'm gonna say I look like a baker.
Okay. A baker
I'm
with a sun hat.
disguised as a baker.
Okay.
With a sun hat, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So you walk up to the guard as he's like his eyes are like darting around to see like who just did the thing on him.
I didn't just do the thing on him.
Yes, but you said you approach him, so
yeah,
like
no.
what-
I'm
yeah.
just saying my conscience is
Yup.
clear. I'm not an idiot. All right.
So he has his
So
eyes
is he
on
blocking
Mr.
the
Fang.
door?
He is standing right in front of the door, so
Okay, I
you
see.
cannot.
Okay, hey there. Can I get into the inn here?
And he doesn't listen to you at first because his eyes are looking around. He goes, "Did you see anything?
Well, what
Magic folk."
magic folk? Oh, geez, that sounds serious. Is this place safe from magical stuff?
And he goes, "Well, we make sure that no magic folk make their way inside of here. However,
Thank heavens. That's good.
Okay. So he goes, well, who are you?
Oh, I'm just some well-meaning folk looking to spend the night at the inn and get some good rest. And I got the means to pay to get in.
And he looks back and he goes, well, we only let people of good breeding here. So.
I consider myself to have good genes, but.
Are they denim?
Gattaca.
He goes, well, what's your family name?
Oh, I shouldn't hesitate. I don't hesitate, and I say Sue.
And is that a common so out of curiosity, is that
capital last name? Something you'd hear quite often in the capital.
Okay. And he goes,
but not like a prestigious last name.
Yeah. So he goes, not quite gonna make it. How much gold is on you?
Are you telling me that I might have to stay in one of them other inns?
Well, with a name like that, yes.
Unbelievable. And
Let me speak to your manager.
I pull out 2 gold pieces and I say, is this enough to get me in?
And he goes, make it 5.
5? Oh, so is 5 enough for me to get in every time I want to get in for like the next couple days while I'm in town?
Well, each time you leave, you're going to have to pay another 5 to get in.
Nice.
But
so
you seem like a nice young
If I
lady.
tell your
You could
manager
marry
that you're
into
holding up...
a better family and not have to pay that 5 gold anymore.
This guy's a creep.
He is. He's the worst.
Okay, I would like to talk to your manager. Because I don't think he would appreciate good, well-meaning customers who are looking to pay good money to stay here being held up at the door.
And he laughs at you. And he goes, my manager pays me to do exactly that, to make sure no riffraff gets in.
Do I look like riffraff?
No, but you sound like it with that city accent.
Well, this isn't a city accent.
Oh, yeah, you have your Geo accent
Yeah,
at this point, yeah. And he goes, 5 gold pieces and you could go right in.
Alright, well, I'll probably be back later, but I'm going to have to talk to my compatriots about whether they're fine with this kind of attitude. I thought that this chain, I've stayed here in the past in, what was the other city that we were staying at?
Nerding.
Dorking.
At Dorking, I stayed at this establishment in Dorking. I faced no such resistance. I thought things would be similar here, and I would just say I'm quite disappointed. And maybe I'll have to go a little higher up the chain. I told you I'll be back later. Jeez, put your greedy little hands away. And I walk away and I go to talk to these fellas.
I'm going into an alley. I'm going to put on my fancy clothes, because I have fancy clothes.
You do have fancy clothes.
I have fancy clothes too, but I stole, and remember when I... at an Al's and I pretend to be their mom and I stole their clothes.
And I'm going to use my mustache machete.
Well, you have to roll
Yep.
a D12?
Was it D12 or was it a D100?
I'm just gonna keep it with a D12. 1, 2, 3 is the...
That's an 11.
Okay, you get to choose what the
It's
mustache looks like.
Bushiest, like it's just drooping, like it's like massive.
So we reconvene in the alley and I'm kind of just like, okay, so remind me, what are we trying to do at this inn again?
Bruna is potentially there, associates are there, I got a plan, I say this, I'm like, you just see tufts of air just billowing in my mustache.
Here's something to consider, they don't like
I'm a walrus.
to have magic in there. Bruna's a magic user. Just saying, we could say something like, we know there's magic users in there.
Or we could just use a stamp that we got that shows that we are proved citizenry.
Yeah, if only you'd thought of that.
I'm a big favor of this. So I'm just gonna...
Okay, well, I'm gonna change as well. And then I'm going to shapeling shift into, like, a very regal-looking Asian woman. So, like, you know, like, classic... what someone like in the higher classes of Taizhou would look like. And
And do you don the fancy clothes that you stole from Evan Al's
I have to. Changeling form doesn't let me change my clothes.
Right.
It only changes my form.
So, what are you doing? Do you tell Boggs what's going on?
I assume Boggs is here.
Baker Boggs.
I'm listening. Yeah.
You need to look a regal.
But I don't have any fancy clothes.
Do you have a regal voice?
I'm going to attempt to
Boggs,
enter in the back like I'm delivering baked goods.
Well, do you have baked goods?
I'm gonna go buy some baked goods first, and then I'm gonna take them to the back like I'm delivering baked goods.
Okay.
If only we kept the cat back.
Yeah, I'll just say for a silver piece you could find a bakery and get like a nice little tray. What kind of baked goods are you bringing?
I'm thinking like some baguettes and maybe some nice crusty breads.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll yeah.
Okay.
Maybe some bread bowls. No, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
enough.
I do like a good bread bowl.
Pretty
All right.
nice chicken
So we'll deal with you going around the back for that. Let's have these two knuckleheads attempt to.
Yeah.
Before I do that, I need to. I'm assuming it's not a high DC, but I need to remember a classy name, family name.
You can do a history check with advantage since you've probably.
I'm saying I'm a Taijo citizen who lived.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 19
I'm gonna do the
plus.
same thing.
You said history. You said history. So
Yes.
20, unnatural.
Yeah.
History, it's going to be a 22.
Okay, so both of you can pull a good last name, from Taijo. So what last name are you going?
Ching. We're both Ching. Last name Ching.
Okay.
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 We're related.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to make sure, like, if we get separated, our backstories need to be consistent. I've played this game before.
I'm your mother.
We always play this game.
Yes.
I was trying to be older with this mustache.
No. Well, okay, I see
Actually,
you do have
yeah.
the mustache. But how? I can see him. How what does he look like? Does
He
look
looks like a 15-year-old with a big ass mustache.
Okay, since you only look 15, and
Well, I guess he's probably like junior in high school where he finally got his first full beard. So you're probably too young to be his mom at this point, unless you chose to be someone.
No.
older.
I mean, yeah, I'm assuming regal, older, 40s.
Okay, so then you could pass for his
Okay.
mom.
Okay. So you're okay with the mom thing?
Yes.
God damn
Okay.
it. So he's still there. He doesn't recognize either of you because you were in a completely different form beforehand.
Does he
He's
recognize
still.
me?
Not really, because you
Yes.
successfully dodged out of his line of sight after you failed your charm person. And he's still looking around pretty suspiciously because he takes magic very seriously.
Hello, good fellow.
Yes, hello.
May we enter this establishment?
Last name,
Ching.
papers.
Yeah, this should do, and I hand him the sealed papers from Fisk.
Okay. And he opens up. Oh, okay. And he straight up that dude is a good name in this place apparently. So he hands you back your seal of approval, and he opens the door for you, gives a little bow, and he goes, "Walk right in."
Thank you.
I whisper to him, that seal probably would have been good enough even if we were in normal forms.
Probably.
All right. So you are attempting to make your way through the back. The back door.
Okay.
There's no one guarding it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just a door.
Well, I give it a tug. Does it open?
It is open, and you. It's kind of like like the pantry essentially.
Okay.
And there is someone So it's a room probably around the size of this room.
Okay.
Stuff just stacked very neatly, but there's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a door at the opposite end. What do you do?
I walk towards the door on the opposite end.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to the main part of the inn.
Do a perception check.
Looking at 15.
Okay. You can hear some chatter from the other side. It doesn't sound like it is
18. Sorry, 18.
Okay. It's not the chatter from the part of the inn where the public is. Sounds like it's the kitchen.
Okay. Are the people there? Is it busy?
Yeah. I mean, you hear some orders. It's not busy, but
Right,
it's they're just trying to get food out. They're trying to get drinks out.
What time of day is it again?
It is midday, so it's probably just the brunch rush
Okay.
at this point.
Brunch? Okay. You said this
Lunch?
was a fancy place.
Well, you can have fancy brunches.
Okay.
I think brunch is just inherently fancy.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a special time of day.
Okay, I just sort of announced myself. Hey, I'm here with the second part of the bread delivery. Boss said that he didn't give you everything earlier this morning, so we're gonna put this.
Are you trying to deceive them that you're a part of it, or you're just trying to be hey, are you doing more performing or deceiving at this point?
Find your baker.
Transforming, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay,
Because, I
roll-
mean, I do have bread.
Yes.
I'm not lying
yes.
that I have bread.
So do roll with advantage. Oh, that's a good enough
Alright,
roll
cool.
anyway. So like, oh yeah, put it over here. Like
Props.
they're a little too busy to like care.
Sure.
Like whether or not like this was stuff that they ordered or not. So and they go, all right, yeah, okay, so go.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to go out this way.
Oh no, not with those. Like they don't want to see us.
Well, my boss is out there. He just had me go around. I gotta go out front to meet with him and get my check.
Do a persuasion check. Was it a 1?
Yeah, I said it exactly like I said it to you.
What's a check?
He goes, no can do. You can wait here. I'll wait for someone, one of the clothed people to, and when,
Clothed people?
well,
What are
they
you,
mean,
naked?
they mean, like, clothed in a way that's acceptable to go out there. So you imagine there's, like, a waitress or a waiter who comes in, grabs the stuff, and then exits.
Okay.
So he says clothed person, as in, like, not dressed in, like, baker or cook aprons.
Alright. A
So,
little snobby around here.
okay,
then I'll.
oh, he's like,
I'll
well,
wait.
I mean, we don't make the rules. You get, I just follow them.
My boss is a noble-looking Asian woman. Last name of Ching.
Were you around for that bit?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
I actually think you were buying bread during that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So you don't
I don't
know. So how are you going?
You would have seen the Asian woman form. You just wouldn't know the name. Because I did that in front of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So yeah, I don't
You
have
also
the
saw
name.
my stash.
Yeah, I'm looking for. It's a pair.
Mhm.
Big mustache and a regal-looking Asian woman.
Okay.
Ancient age of 40.
God damn it. He goes, okay, once one of the clothed people come in, just describe it to them and they'll come get them.
Okay.
So
Did I know what your plan?
No.
We know. We talked about
yeah,
this plan.
you would
Yeah,
have
we talked
you
about
would
this
have
one.
known about him trying to go through the back because of the
Yeah.
About, like,
but
how
I wouldn't
long-
know that he ran. I wouldn't know all this stuff. I wouldn't know to like go in the kitchen and
Yeah, like
Right.
about like how long have we been waiting for him? Would you say?
I imagine you would have waited for him to come back with the baked goods before
Okay.
you enacted this, so it probably would be about the same. Like you would have at this point, you
Yeah.
would have just been like walking through.
Okay, so we're not concerned about him yet.
Yeah, no need to be concerned yet.
Right,
So
I want to go book a room.
Okay. Just give it 1 second. So a barmaid comes in, starts grabbing up the things, and what do you say to her?
Oh, I tell her that I'm looking for my my boss,
Mhm.
my master. I'll call her. And I describe what I think they look like,
Mhm.
and ask if she could lead me to them.
Oh, I can't lead them to you. But are you looking to get paid?
Actually, could you just tell them where I'm at and ask them if there's anything that I can do for them or run to their room or anything?
Yeah, sure, okay. And then she carries stuff out, and then we'll leave it there. So now you are looking to book a room.
Yeah, we're at the front desk.
Okay. There is a elven woman. She looks to be pretty young, almost too young to be like behind the bar and like taking care of things. So she might be someone who's like in training. So she's I was gonna say she's typing away at that. I was like, no, it's fucking medieval fantasy shit. There's no laptop. She's scribbling away at her book, and she looks up and she goes, "Oh, how can I help you?"
Hi, we'd like to book a room.
Yes. Are you looking for standard or deluxe?
What's the difference?
Well, the deluxe is quite deluxe. It is twice the size, good view, has a balcony. The standard is, what you would expect from a standard establishment such as this.
How much is the deluxe?
Deluxe is, God, I need to pull up numbers because every time I pull up numbers, I was like, too much gold. 5 GP for the standard, 10 for the deluxe.
Shall we splurge?
Sure. Tansu, why don't you pair out of the living money purse on you?
Okay.
Do you pay her the 10 GP?
Yes.
Okay. So she gives you keys, and she goes, "Oh, room 7.
Thank
It's
you.
right up the stairs and to the left."
Also, we're looking for a Miss Bruna Moore. She's a business associate of ours, and we're here to meet her.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. And she's looking through her books, and she's like looking at what's anyone that was booked tonight. She doesn't see anything. And she looks back a couple, and she goes, "Are you sure she's staying tonight?"
Not entirely. You're just going to have to forgive our perhaps inopportune timing.
Okay. Has she stayed here before?
We believe so.
Okay. Do you know? And she's getting she's getting more nervous
Oh,
the more she has to ask.
It's okay. It's okay. She said meet us at the Golden Dragon. I mean, obviously a famous chain. Could be a different town. We could be in the wrong town.
No.
Yep.
Anyways.
Wait, direction I'm taking her.
Anyways,
And
could
she
you
goes,
just
"Will
look
you be
back to maybe
staying?"
the past week and see if she's stayed here?
Yeah. And she looks, and you could look at the dates, and like with every page turned with no Bruna on it, she's getting like very scared and very nervous. And she goes, let me look the past week," and she's stuttering and very nervous. And then finally, about 2 weeks ago, she finally pulls up Bruna's name. She goes, "Oh, she was here 2 weeks ago."
Oh, snickerdoodle.
And she goes, "How do you know Bruna?" And her voice gets like very quiet now, because as she's looking at it, and as the more time she's thinking, like more things are rushing back to her. And she very quietly asks that.
I told you she was a business associate.
The gist of it is that our business is we supply raw materials for various purposes. Obviously, I personally don't touch the materials, but she was just looking to buy a pretty big order from us, and so we wanted to work out the details of that. But did something happen?
Oh, she's not well liked. There's rumors that something's a little off about her.
Yes, but money is money.
As the boy said.
And she goes, I mean, I would have to talk to my boss about how I can get you in contact with her, because we can't give out customer information all willy-nilly.
Can you not? I attempt to persuade.
Okay. How are you going to persuade her?
That's
Or
like
just
this is
can
that
you
very
not?
like rich person like, come on, can you not? Like, is that really something
let's
you
do
can
a contest with that.
Sorry, what check am I doing?
Persuasion.
That's 10.
Okay. So that didn't really quite convince her, because she's she's clearly scared of anyone that she has to say no to.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also scared of her boss,
Mm-hmm.
getting mad at her. And she goes, "I can't tell you."
I bring out another 5 GP. I'm like, well, if you ever want to get yourself something nice in the future, something to consider.
Oh, and then she just repeats, "I can't tell you."
You know where we're staying.
She's trying to tell us that someone else can tell us. Sorry, he can be a little slow sometimes. Great with the materials, not so great with the interpersonal things.
And she goes, "There's enough people around here that don't like her." And she just her eyes peruse the room at the current patrons that are there. And she goes, "I would recommend not saying that you are doing business with her."
Here's what I'll tell you. We're mad at her too, because she took an order and she hasn't paid fully yet.
Can you say it louder for the streamers?
She took an I'm literally talking right into this microphone.
Well, that mic goes into my computer.
Right. I just said that I made the implication that we're mad at the lady as well.
Okay. And she goes, "Well, I hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you find what you're looking for."
Okay.
And at this point, a barmaid comes up to you, and she goes, "Oh, you must be. Oh man, I didn't get his name. I'm so rude. But there's a baker here who wanted to speak to you, or
He's
see
just
if
an
he
errand
needed."
boy. He's our servant. It's not a baker. I don't know where you got that. He couldn't bake for his life.
Just send him up to room 7 whenever you're done with him.
I mean, we can't.
Do you have servants' quarters downstairs where people can keep their servants while they're staying here?
Oh yes.
And how
Yeah.
much is that?
I mean, that's included with the price of any deluxe
Fantastic.
room. So
Will we be able to visit him down there when we need him to go carry off and run and do things for us?
yes.
All right.
I made this, and I'm so uncomfortable playing this out. Like I'm almost mad at past Kelly for writing this part of the campaign.
Send him down
but
there.
anyway.
I have some business to attend to in the brunch area.
Okay. So she will.
Is the brunch complimentary? Would I understand if it is or not?
With the deluxe, you kind of get like a little bit of extra. So had you not paid for the deluxe, and you would have had to. But
All right. So
when you go into
we're gonna
your
go eat
room,
brunch and try to sit down at a
Okay.
I'm
table
gonna load
with.
up on mimosas.
Yeah. We'll get some mimosas or whatever, and I want to find a table
Uh-huh.
with somebody who looks like they do business and maybe they staying here for a while, like someone who's maybe like like some people when they're eating like they're like I got places to go, and
Yeah.
other people are like at the hotel and they're like I live here,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, like I got nothing to do but drink my coffee. I want
Yeah.
to find the guy who's got nothing to do but drink his coffee.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
I'll let him do it with advantage.
Okay, cool. Let's see, 8 plus. It's gonna be 15.
Yes. You're able to see this noble-looking human dude. He's got a fantastic beard. Like it's just spot on.
Human?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's got this not like a crown, but just like a nice little like ornamental like flower crown without the flowers type of thing. Thorn crown is what I'm looking for. It doesn't look like foreboding. It's just that you could tell that he's kind of like of the earth, sort of.
Okay.
And he's just eating his food, sipping his coffee.
I sit down. I say hi, Ching Ming Mei.
And he shakes your hand. And he goes, God, I wish I had names. Dudson.
Dudson.
Yes.
He's gonna become an important character.
Yes, he is.
Alright.
Well, just like what was that kid's name from the Chandelier?
Kingsley.
King Kingsley. So yeah, this is Dudson.
All right, I just want to make his acquaintance, spend a little while doing small talk, which we don't necessarily have to do. But after maybe like 5 minutes after we've ordered,
Mhm.
like all that stuff has transpired, I
Mhm.
then name drop Runa, and kind of like in a little bit of an annoyed manner, but like kind of more like I'm annoyed with her, but like I'm trying to pretend like I'm not annoyed with her, but I don't really care if you know that I'm annoyed with her, like that kind of thing.
Okay. He perks up a little when he hears that name, and he goes, "Oh, man, if I hear that name again, it won't be too soon." And that's all he says at that point. So what do you do? Do you try and dig for a little more information?
Yeah, I'm sorry that you've also had an unpleasant experience with this woman.
Well, I mean, it's not I've never really dealt with her myself. It's just everyone else won't stop talking about her, just obsessing over what she does, and
What is she? I don't understand. What does she do? She's purchased materials from us in the past, but otherwise, I've personally never met her.
And he goes, well, I mean, everyone here doesn't like magic. And he goes,
Of course.
I'm not a fan of it myself, but I'm not a witch hunter over it, as you would. But some people here, because they're very serious about having no magical folk here, because she stayed here, and there are some heavy rumors of her using magic. Some people are very upset. So it's just all gossip that I really wish I didn't have to hear day in and day out.
Yes. Well, my interest in Bruna is purely transactional.
Okay.
Would you happen to know where I could find her?
He's going to do an insight check. Do a deception check.
A 16.
Okay, he goes, I don't think that you're here for business with her. That's all he says. I mean, he doesn't look like he's unwilling to answer you. It's just he knows that you're not being truthful, and he's not going to, especially when there's a witch hunt for her.
We're here to collect, so business is not the correct word.
Do a...
Let's put it this way. Bruna has some information that we are interested in extracting, but
Extracting is
Yeah.
a very...
I'm trying to speak in a regal way. That's
Yes.
that's not how Mags would normally talk,
Yeah.
but that's how Qingming Mei might talk. Maybe extracting is the wrong word. We want to have a discussion with her. You're right. We've had some business dealings, but we're not particularly in the need right now of any more gold to merchandise transaction. We're more interested in some knowledge transaction.
Okay. He believes you on that, and he goes, get a paper. I'll draw a map with some directions.
And I probably have some paper or something to give them.
And he whips out fancy quill pen, and he draws and you could tell he's a very artistic person because he draws some flourishes on it that really aren't necessary for the practicality of this map. With a 4-step list of how to get there. You could tell it's about a day's journey away from the mountains and closer to the border of Alacia, but not close enough where it's TSA area.
Okay.
So and then he hands it over and he goes, just don't be rabble rousers.
I fold it softly and I put it in, and I have no intention of harming her right now. I didn't actually say that. I just have no intention of harming her. But I say thank you, and it's I agree with you about the magic. Don't know how I feel about it yet, but I think that based on what I've heard it can do, there must be some useful applications of such power.
And he nods his head, and he doesn't really seem comfortable talking about magic positively. He just made it clear that even though he's uncomfortable with it, he's not willing to harm people over it.
All right. So we finish up eating. Tell Boggs that he's living in the servants' quarters. I think we'll stay here.
Well, he's already in there at this point.
We'll stay here for the night, and then we will head out tomorrow.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Because it's late afternoon, right?
Yeah, you could chill. You paid it, so you might as well stick around. And even your servants' quarters is pretty nice.
It's not so bad.
It's kind of like the staying at a low end inn for you. So, would you like to try and carouse with the cooks, or do you want to not worry about any funny business? And
yeah. Actually, I want to ask them.
Oh yeah, now that you're human looking, this is the first time that you're actually going to be in a communal. We have guests today, by the way. So for context, did you want to talk about Boggs at all? So
sure,
you understand why this is a...
Boggs was left for dead in a swampy area of his home. He got shot by some polluters, and when he woke up, he looked like the Swamp Thing, essentially. He's looks like a giant walking plant. And so he's lived the last few lives sort of as a hermit in the swamps. He doesn't really trust people, and he is obviously a magical creature, so people don't really trust him. But last session, Mary, the orphanage woman, gave me a magical hat that gives me the appearance of a human. And so now I'm free to mingle. Single and ready to mingle. Okay, so really, I sort of want I want to talk to maybe some of the servers.
Okay.
I'm really looking for someone who might talk to me about the patrons.
Okay. What was I gonna say? So there's 5 or 6 different people staying at just sitting in the beds right now. Is there? Did you want to look for one that looked like they're especially comfortable, just like the one over there? Not the one over there. What they did.
I'll talk to the one that I talked to earlier. Right.
Yes,
we have a
report. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, absolutely. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. So you didn't really chat, but he recognizes you and he goes, "Oh,
is it he? Okay, sorry.
Oh, are you talking about? Well, the barmaid is different. She is just hired, but it was dudes in the kitchen. So.
Okay.
Dudes in the kitchen.
Well, I meant the one that came in.
I missed an opportunity to talk to that lady in Elvish. I know Elvish. I want to use it. Damn it!
Talk about the one that came in and I gave and that I sent out to look for Mags and
And what
Franz.
are you going to ask him again? I'm sorry.
Just kind of. I wanted to sort of saddle up. Just say, hey, thanks for trying to help me out earlier. You got me taken care of here. In the servants' quarters. How do you like your job? How do you like what you do here?
It's like it pays well. I worked hard to get where I am, and it's definitely nicer than some of the other jobs I've had in the past.
Oh, for sure. It's really swanky in here, right?
Mm-hmm. Good tips.
Yeah, the food smells really good. Do they give you free food?
Once per day.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah. So how do you like rubbing elbows with the fancy creme de la creme of?
We don't see them. We're just in the back, and then we go downstairs when it's nighttime.
She went out to talk.
There's the cooks and everyone who was the non-clothed folk.
Right.
So that's who's the servants. So they're not able to be seen by the fancy people, but the maids who go in and out, they go home.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, then fuck you. I don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
I have nothing. You have nothing to tell me.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
All right. So you meet up and head out to Bruno's.
I give him 5 gold.
Okay.
Bog shouldn't have to pay for last night, but I'll pay my fair share, even though I made the joke about him paying from the traveling purse. I stay in my regal attire until we maybe get out of town, and then I'm gonna go hide behind a tree. I'm gonna switch back into my adventuring gear, and change back into Mags.
Okay.
And I kind of come out, I'm wiping my tongue. I'm did not particularly like that experience. Glad to be back.
All right.
Did you guys get me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got you.
Okay, sorry, I was just setting stuff up for the next part. But yeah.
On the road again.
Yep. So, I imagine you guys, just catch each other up briefly and then start heading out with the map in hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, spell slots.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but hello, maximum HP,
There we go.
which is 38 for those at home. Because I have
That's
8
a lot.
temporary, or not 38,
Oh yeah.
32.
And
I have
then,
to say, I'm like,
Then I have plus 10 whenever I use armor bag at this known as Celestial Skin.
yep. Okay. So they gave you a path that is fairly easily traveled, so it's not leading you towards any unsavory parts or things where you would imagine any danger to be. So you just make it. You can make it there without an issue unless you wanted to stop along the way and forage. Because the trail takes you through a wide plain, so it's kind of it's very reminiscent of what Valencia is like.
Yeah.
Unlike Taizhou, which is very hilly, mountainous.
But it wasn't always like
can I just make a
Right.
broad perception check to see if we pick up anything of interest?
Yeah.
It's in that one.
There's plains.
You don't.
Take a look around. Boggs, you notice anything?
You can roll with advantage since it's very nature-y.
All right. That'd be a 17. I think surely it's
Yeah.
gonna perceive a lot, right?
Yes. So you notice 2 things. At one part of the journey, you pass by a flower field, and the flowers are just beautiful as shit. So if you wanted to make something with those, put it in your put it in your growing beard to make, because last time it got shaven, so it's a little crooked. So if you wanted to pierce it into your beard and make it look nicer, you could do that. But while you stop to smell the flowers, you notice there's another set of flowers kind of mingled in. They look very similar. One is useless but pretty. The other one is pretty, but remember it having some health qualities to it. So if you want to pick some, you can roll a d20 to see. Actually, no. I'll roll a d4 first, and then roll your d20. Okay, 4.
4. And an 8.
All right. So you're able to make 4 like little poultices that will do a D4 plus 1 of healing.
Nice.
Ooh, cool.
Nice.
Otherwise, though, nothing dangerous. Shot running out.
Not as you can see.
I'm just like this, like while I go, oh, look at these hails.
Yeah.
Nature.
Mags, do you want to do anything?
No, I'm just heading there, keeping my eyes out for any like danger or anything like that.
Okay. You don't see any danger,
No.
surprisingly. Because we've had danger at every point of this trip. But eventually you come upon a building that at the point where you go, oh, this is definitely the house. And I want you to imagine like an antebellum South type of structure. There's a large fence that's just to demarcate like what land is hers specifically, and it's pretty darn long. Probably like 5 or 6 acres of land she's got, and in the center of it, with a nice winding little path leading up to it. Unlike the other like fancy houses you've been to, this is kind of like a like a quaint, but like rich, but like pleasant. Whereas the other one is like rich, but and flaunting it.
Can I make like a investigation check to see if there are any like defense things or like traps or anything of that nature? That is going to be a 21.
There's no traps that do harm when you pass it, but there are definitely like tripwires to you imagine to alert if someone were to come through.
Okay, and that's on like the mainway path up to the door.
You see it on the path, but then you also see the wires going out, so you imagine it's kind of like all over.
Okay. Hey guys, we're watching out for those.
Well, I don't think are we trying to sneak up on this lady?
I don't think I don't know what's gonna happen when we trip those wires. I'm just saying we should probably try to avoid tripping them.
Is there anyone I could like wave to, or are there any like servants
and actually,
hanging out?
1 second. The with your 22, you could tell the one that's on the main path is set up to one system, and when you investigate, the ones that are in like, if someone were to try and sneak up on her, it's hooked up to like a different sort of system.
Is this magic, like the spell alarm, or is this like?
You can't tell whether it's magical or not.
Can I make an Arcana check?
You can.
It's just it's 8, so probably.
You can't tell.
Yeah, they're hooked up to different systems. They're going to trip different, literally wires. Just saying, from experience, probably don't want to do
the
it.
bathroom, so while you guys decide how you want to go about this.
Probably don't want to. I don't want to deal with whatever's going to pop up by tripping these wires.
Okay, I think we can just.
I know what these fancy people do.
Where are these wires? Sorry, are they in a walkway or?
Yeah, they're in the walkway.
So I will just walk up and I will just pull the wire. You can be as far away as you want.
Let's not pull them. Let's leave them. Step over them. I mean,
I don't feel like sneaking up on this lady.
It's not sneaking up. We're just going to knock on the door. I just don't want to deal with any systems. I don't want to deal with like shot at. I don't want things sprayed on me. I don't want to fall into a hole. I've lived this life. I'm telling you, we don't want to deal with any negative repercussions of tripping these wires.
Boggs, what do you think?
I want to see if there is another way around, but if there's not, I think.
I mean, we just step over the wire.
Okay.
Okay.
So
is that what you're saying? Instead of like setting it off, you just want to avoid
you just want to avoid.
But now think of it this way, okay? Right now we walk up. We're well-meaning adventurers, okay? Think about it like that.
Yeah.
We trip the wire because we aren't paying attention, right? And she just knows that we're here. She's going to know that we're here regardless of whatever happens. But if we don't trip the wire and we knock on the door, what does she know then? That we're the kind of people who are looking for wires in the ground. And that instantly makes us look more dangerous.
I would actually argue the complete opposite. She clearly has these wires set up not just to be alerted that someone's here. This isn't like a doorbell system. This is trying to keep people out system.
I don't think so. If it was trying to keep people out system, they'd have little signs that say keep people out.
Well, yeah, it's not going to stop the kind of people that these wires are trying to stop.
See, I just want to note something right now. Now, we're having a reasonable
got
discussion about this, okay?
Okay.
Now, you know what's not okay is when you just decide to start casting willy-nilly spells in the middle of public places on random guys who are guarding hotel doors.
It would have worked had it worked.
See, now what I'm just saying
That's
is
different.
at least consult us before you make me think. See, like, I could just run up and trip the alarm, but I'm not doing that, even though I feel like we should trip the alarm, because it's good to have a discussion about these things. And so I'm just letting you know that this could go a long way. Now, Boggs, we're at an impasse a little bit here, so I really want your input. It seems like we gotta go up the main path. We see one wire, right? Would you have to?
There's multiple wires.
On the main path?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's
okay.
it's set up to one single system.
Okay.
The first wire is. Everything else is set up to a different system.
Mhm.
Okay.
What I'm saying is,
Can we see the system?
here's my
He
hypothesis.
points it out to
Yeah,
us.
here's
I'm
my
assuming.
hypothesis. This first wire is going to be like something akin to a warning shot. If we continue to keep going, the subsequent wires are going to actually potentially harm us. This isn't a system to say, this isn't a door, like a knock on the door system. This is a defense system. This is what this is. And I'm trying, and if we want to,
Did I
Talk
say
to-
that's what it was?
So
That's what I'm
just gonna
presuming.
note that I know people, and if you're looking for people not to come on your land, it's not the best thing to just set up random alarms. They're gonna shoot you right when you come on out, right?
then there would just be one wire.
I don't know how this stuff works.
Are these wires going all the way across the road? All of them?
So, like, I want you to imagine just like a spider web almost.
Okay.
A spider web of like these little wires, and one section of the spider web is like set up specifically for people who just come up to the front door,
Okay.
and then the rest of them are for people who are like sneaking around.
Well, we certainly don't want to get caught by the ones sneaking around. Those seem like probably the tricky ones that are going to hurt us. How difficult would it be to like step over this tripwire?
I would have to just do a
We'd have to roll.
yeah.
I don't think we should step over it.
I think we should at least try.
I think one of you archers there should knock a arrow, knock a bow, and shoot the wire and see what happens.
I ain't having no bow.
Oh yeah, I thought you had a bow.
But yeah, I thought you had a bow because you're trying to steal my arrows.
You haven't seen it yet, but I can make a bow appear,
Okay.
like a celestial bow, but you wouldn't know that. You just know that I asked for
Sure.
some arrows. How about this? I will just walk up. I will trip the first wire.
All right.
All right. We'll see what happens. If nothing happens, we just keep going up.
Okay.
We knock on the front door. If something happens, we have a new discussion.
I'm,
Okay.
I
I'm
like
completely against this entire thing, but you got to do what you got to do. I say we avoid it at all costs.
Here's the thing.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
I'll
Boggs.
have
Boggs.
healing hand waiting.
Boggs, Boggs, what is your opinion? I really want to know
About what?
about this. About like, do you think we should trip the wire? Or do you think we should try to sneak up?
I don't think we should try to sneak up. I think we should trip the wire.
Okay, you're outnumbered, but note that we had a good quality democratic discussion, and we came to a conclusion. It may not be the one you like, but this is the right way of approaching situations. Now I'm going to go ahead and I will walk up, and I'm going to actually go get down so that like range attacks have disadvantage on me, and then I'll pull the wire.
Okay. When you pull the wire, it just sounds like, like nice little wind chimes.
A doorbell.
Okay, I'm going to keep walking up.
Okay. More wind chimes.
Are you guys following me?
Watching.
Imagine like a huge
It's a pretty
set
long
of wind
path.
chimes.
Would you be able to see us at the end?
Yeah, but
Okay,
it
okay.
would be like it's like 120 feet.
Okay.
From like
Okay.
I don't know how far away is that?
It's a good. It's
120 feet is equivalent to 40 yards.
That's
Yeah.
more units of measure that I don't understand the distance.
it's almost a half of a football field.
Yes.
That helps.
40
okay,
yards
so
is
Oh, then
40
I'd be able to see them.
okay, then a football field away is what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
I'm young. I've
Okay.
got good vision.
But still, you can see
So
it.
100 yards.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I want you to imagine like a long set of wind chimes, and like when you trip the first one, like this was ringing, and then suddenly like there's just like a full set of wind chimes going at this point. And you don't even have to knock on the door. You see the door open just a little bit, and you expect someone this tall to answer, but it's actually someone like this tall, and this
Like a
little
dwarf.
dwarven
Okay, yeah.
lady opens up, and she looks up at you, and she goes, "Who are you?"
I start strolling up.
Hi there. I'm gonna reach up my hands. I'm Megs.
She doesn't shake your hand yet,
Mhm.
but she doesn't. She looks more wary than like not,
Mhm.
than being rude.
I wouldn't say I'm a friend or anything like that. It's
Mhm.
more like we have some mutual acquaintances, and I was just looking to talk to you for a little bit and see, just catch up maybe a little bit, get to know each other a little.
Who are these acquaintances?
Well,
Am I up there already?
I would say you, if you were
my
following.
orphan lady. Who was the other one?
We
We ran into
Robin. We know about the knock, etc., etc.
When you said Robin, she tenses a little, but then she relaxes when you say knock, and then she understands what crew you're from.
Mm-hmm.
At which point she slowly opens the door and motions you inside quickly. She's uncomfortable with keeping the door open for too long. Do you all follow in? And
You seem a little on edge there, Bruna. Is something the matter?
yeah, yeah. So I hear there's rumors spreading of me using magic, and at this point, you probably know that it's true.
You're not well liked. We'll go with that.
Yes. Well, I mean, I wasn't well liked before they knew I was magical. It was just just another thing on the long list, and the long list really stems from me being new money.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Well, this is why we're actually here to talk with you. So I show the list of names. I'm like, we're gonna give you the too long didn't read version, but there are folks out there who have worked with Screech and the Knock,
Mhm.
have taken that magic, and twisted it to start performing necromancy, reanimating the dead, and whoever that person is most likely on this list, and they have been teaching other people.
She looks uncomfortable at first.
And I reassure him, like, we know this is not an easy topic at all.
And now there's also like a small possibility it could be you, and that would be a real
Yeah.
bummer. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you could assuage our fears and just help us out and let us know that it's not you first of all. What kind of magic are you?
We don't need to be accusatory.
What kind of magic do you tend to be practicing? Don't worry, I sacred flame in my hand, like it's okay. Like I have just as much to lose. We have just as much to lose from being magical as you do.
She goes, well, before the impact, I was an archaeologist with my fiance. And she says that, like, she pauses and then she says fiance.
I thought you said Beyonce.
Yes,
I
her
miss
Beyonce.
Sue's ability to silence speech.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's.
Yeah. And she goes, we made a living. We made this house together off of the the artifacts that we found.
Oh, archaeology, a lucrative business, eh? Wouldn't expect you to be able to just buy like large houses like this with that kind of stuff.
Well, we worked very hard,
I
and we
believe
found
it.
very rare items.
Can I
And
make a
she
perception
was
check?
a little defensive when you said that because she clearly has gotten like a lot of flack, based on her background. But go ahead.
No, I didn't mean any offense by it. I meant more like
22.
I'm
What
a
are you looking for?
I'm a simple commoner. I just don't know much about these
Okay.
kind of higher things. I didn't realize that it was such a field where you could earn.
Well,
money
the moment
like
she
that.
said archaeologist and expensive things, I am now scouting the place.
Okay. Yes, there's like it's all the whole house is kind of like it's like a museum almost. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Like, you're about to steal from like a widow. I hope you know that.
My character has
but-
no shame.
Yeah. So she
And I didn't
goes,
say I was gonna steal. I'm just
you're
you know,
definitely.
you know.
She goes, But once this house was built, my fiance, wanted to do one last, dig before we started our family, and that's when the meteor hit, and he hasn't come back.
Wait, so the meteor hit him?
And she goes, he was at ground zero. Based on where we think the meteor hit and where I know he was going.
Well, my
Uh,
deepest condolences.
but I mean, I know it's silly. But I'm using magic so I can get stronger and brave the wilds and all the magical things they say exist in those mountains, because I'm not convinced he's dead until I see him.
Of course. And so the reason we sought you out, we talked to a few people, but you in particular, it was no easy task finding you. I want to let you know that. And I gestured to us, as I'm sure you're very acutely aware. But we heard that your disagreement with Robin was that he was transforming or changing the magic that he was taught, and we know that you have been fervently in disagreement with that kind of mentality.
Yes, I probably reacted a little too strongly, but in my defense, it was a tough time.
Fair is fair. Can I ask why you disagree with taking magic and repurposing it, for lack of a better word?
I mean, it's a volatile thing. I mean, I clearly, am studied in it. I'm not against magic, but I know the type of magic he was twisting, the healing magics, and it's not the first time I've heard it twisted.
Interesting.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, so, obviously,
and I didn't want him following.
We've got extracurricular sources here saying that you're the kind of person who doesn't want to mess with what's being learned, and we know that Nock isn't teaching that other kind of stuff. And so, based on your implication, you know of somebody who might be doing this kind of magic that we're looking for.
She offers to, sit you down for some tea. Do you want to sit down for tea, or do you choose to?
Absolutely.
Okay. She has really nice tea. This is actually.
Do I drink it? Do I see her prepare it?
You see her prepare it, yes.
Okay.
And I say really nice tea because you could tell by, the packaging, it's, fancy shit, stuff that, and it's, the imported stuff. And she, gets it going, she puts it out on the table, and, she's already sipping at hers. She's a little nervous, but she's trying to, be welcoming, because, she knows there's a number out for her, so she always is aware, of what's going on, hence all that shit in her yard. And she goes, shortly after I joined Nock, I was approached by one of the other people because they had overheard me talking about the situation with my fiance.
And would you tell us just what is that situation?
That he's dead.
Yeah.
Dead boy.
And she goes, I was, me and one of the other members from Nock were going to recruit another person that I knew would be interested in learning magic. But what I didn't expect was the offer that my colleague gave both me and that person.
And what was that offer?
Who was this person, and what was the offer?
Are you asking about the colleague from Nock or the person that they were recruiting?
Whoever was offering.
Okay.
And the person recruiting.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And what their response was. There's a lot of information. Let's just keep talking.
Yeah. And let's see how well. What's the first question that you want to ask her? And
wasn't she continuing her story?
She was.
Just let her continue.
Okay. All right. And she said the colleague, and she wasn't giving names, so I imagine you.
Yeah, I want to ask for names.
Yeah. She remembers. She goes, Nora and I were recruiting a new member, and that was when she offered to both me and him to learn how to change the magic in order to bring back the dead.
The recruit or the colleague offered?
The colleague offered to both me and the recruit. At which case I shut it down.
Wait, just use names now. You don't have to say colleague and recruit. So wait, who was the colleague and who was the recruit?
The colleague was Nor.
Okay.
Yes. And she didn't name the recruit yet.
What's the recruit's name?
Edvarian.
Ah.
So.
Okay.
The one that you killed.
Yep, I know.
That, or
Anyways, so
I wasn't sure if Corey.
I don't
Okay.
remember that.
And she goes, I shut it down immediately. And I think that it scared Advarian off because I never saw him at Knox.
So I pull out
after that.
the personal journal, or the one of the journals of Ed,
Mhm.
and I say, well, it sounds like your buddy Nor taught Advarian because Advarian was trying to reanimate his parents.
She looks very disappointed
And then
at that.
I start showing
Mhm.
basically the contents of the journals.
Okay. Yeah, she reads through that and she's saddened, and she goes, "Is he okay?"
Ed?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Sorry,
dead.
I couldn't do it with the
Ed's dead, baby.
Ed's dead. Yeah.
Ed's dead.
She
if
also
it's
looks.
any consolation,
Yeah.
I did it. And
Do you say that?
yeah, I specifically say like, don't blame them. I was the one who did
So
it.
we're pretty
Why?
implicated. We're pretty implicated in that death. Now you.
She's a little upset at, like, why would you kill him?
He would not remit from his ways.
Yes.
So you kill him.
Yes, our buddy here has a judge, jury, and
It was
executioner.
a little bit
complex.
of a little bit of a killer be killed defense thing, but you know, he wanted to keep fighting, but yeah, I take this stuff pretty seriously, I suppose you could say. But I'm just sorry. Like, I understand that he's somebody that maybe you liked, or you know.
Well, if that's how you're going to treat it, then I'm not going to tell you anything else about Nor.
That is fair. That is very fair.
Well, no,
I'm not
the
having
same
that blood
end
on
doesn't
my
have to
hands.
happen to Nor, but we do need this sort of magic to stop. So we're really just trying to.
I agree, but I'm not going to let you three.
May I talk with you
What
in
if we kill
private
you?
for a little bit?
Oh my god,
Whoa!
really?
I like whoa.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
You're
Do
not.
you say that?
No, I don't say
Okay.
that. No,
May I talk to you in private for a moment?
I don't trust you.
I totally understand. What could I do to get you to trust me to talk in private?
A good cast charm person.
No.
Honestly, nothing.
Why is that?
You killed my friend.
Your friend
I hope
was
you know that.
raising skeletons.
We need to.
He was.
we
I'm
need
not
to-
saying he was right or that I agree with it. And had I known, I would have, tried to stop him. Not in the same way that this chuckle fuck did,
Everyone,
but-
we
was a
everyone,
little-
we need to calm down, and we need to at least understand the situation wherein we didn't really have a choice when it came to Ed. He was attempting to reanimate his parents. He was keeping their spectral forms in the basement. We were tasked with clearing out the house. When they came back by them.
Mhm.
When they came back, we confronted them with this knowledge. We had a zombie in the basement.
And he attacked us, and he blinded me, and he tried to kill me.
Like his brother's fine. I want to make that clear. His brother's fine. What happened with Ed was unfortunate. That's not how I wanted to handle the situation. But we're at the moment of hindsight right now. We're trying to make things better. That's why we're here.
I
We're not.
believe the two of you, but this one is clearly not sorry, and she will clearly do it again if given the chance.
Why do you think I would clearly do it again if
You
given
said
the
you
chance?
take it very seriously.
I take these magics very seriously. I didn't mean it in the sense of like I just go kill willy-nilly about it. I'm not interested. I feel pretty fucking bad about what happened. I was more telling you.
Can I make an insight check?
On what?
I want to see if he's actually telling the truth.
Okay.
You don't need to make an insight check. But
That's gonna be a 15.
Are you
I
telling
feel
the truth?
pretty fucking bad. I almost left this crew and made a new character because of it. So yes, she feels terrible about what
Okay.
happened. And so I'm not interested in that happening again. I was telling you to show that like we're in a similar boat and we've done things that maybe we regret doing. And I'm trying to make things better. And so yeah, that's So I don't know if that makes you trust me anymore, but
But why can't we talk in front of your friends?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
She goes, I could understand if they were, my colleagues that you wanted to speak in private, but what can't you say in front of your friends?
Well,
there's just some particular pieces of information I'm curious about, which may or may not be true, that are really important to me, and I am not. It's.
I turn him I think there's just a fundamental trust issue that keeps on coming back up that we should probably resolve if we're going to approach people like this.
All right, fine. Okay, so here's a couple things that are kind of strange. I don't know what to make of them. They make me feel very uncomfortable. First of all, now you don't know this, but I will show you. This is the most dangerous fact about me, is that I can do this. And I change to look exactly like her. Change to look exactly like Boggs. Change to look exactly like Franz. Then I go back to Megs.
She looks a little startled, but it's not like, scared.
Yes.
She's like, oh, she's never seen it before.
Yes, that ain't magic, or at least it isn't. It's kind of magic like how some elves are weird and different now. Like, I'm just different now after what happened. That is a very dangerous thing about me. And I had a friend who had magical things happen to her too. Now, before this happened to me, my name was not Megs, which is what my name is right now. My name was Nor, which is the name of your friend. Nor is not a particularly common name. Now, I had a friend who had magic things happen to her, and I'm worried that this Nor lady is my friend. And so I was going to transform into her. Her name's Faye, not Nor, and see if you recognize that form. Because if you did, that would be spooky, especially because she's doing the necromancy stuff.
So do you change right then?
No, I want to see her reaction to everything I just said.
I mean, it was a lot to give her, but she's following. Like you just told her that, you're magical, your friend's magical, shit happens, which is, like, the story of, like, almost everyone.
I mean, we wouldn't, like, to put it in perspective, me and my friend Faye, we didn't separate because we were mad at each other or there's any bad feelings. I got caught.
And she, she looks a little solemn, and she doesn't need more explanation than that to, like, understand that, shit happened to you.
And then I changed into Faye.
She recognizes her.
Well, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, snap.
So,
snap, crackle,
for all intents and purposes, now I'm looking for my best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were best. Fine.
Yep. So she, I guess, that is the person who went to knock, who tried to get me to do what you call necromancy, and I guess who made Ed perform necromancy as well.
Wow.
So why would Feanor
Excuse
want
me.
to?
What?
I leave. I don't leave. Excuse me, like I'll be back, and I go in the other room, and I'm really mad. I don't want anyone to see me right now.
Okay.
Well.
She's like.
Well, we all learned something today. Wow.
Rough, and she's sympathetic towards what Mads or Nor or however she's going by right now.
How did you know Feanor? I'm just gonna call him Feanor until it gets figured this out.
She goes, well, we were one of the initial people who went to Knock to learn magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say I'm listening kind of from the other room.
Okay. She goes, we were together for probably the first, 6 months or so. Nor stopped showing up after that. She was incredibly powerful compared to us, and sometimes I wondered even why she would almost waste her time
I'm asking that question right now, yeah.
here. And I felt like she didn't need Knock. She never imparted her knowledge upon Knock, because whenever any one of us would learn something, we would, share with Knock just a bit, just as they had shared with us. But she was very secretive and dark. But despite that, I did, try to keep her company because maybe there was something I could learn from her. And even though I did not like her vibe or her magic.
Did you learn anything about her?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm trying to figure out why someone would want to move towards necromancy. Was there, like, for instance, it would make sense for you if someone told me you were a necromancer to hear your story about, trying to bring back your husband. You're not, clearly, but it would make sense. I'm trying to understand why, if there's anything that you might have heard or that she told you that might make sense for her to practice necromancy.
And she thinks... She says, I don't remember much about why or the details of her life, but I remember her saying she was chosen.
She was chosen.
She was chosen for, I don't know what, but she was chosen for something.
How long did you two work together with Knock?
About 6 months before she stopped attending.
And how long ago was that?
Like 2 years, so she hasn't seen her in about
Okay.
that time. But Bruna still regularly attends Knock.
Do you know if anyone else in Knock is still in contact with her? Or?
Not that I know of. Sometimes we hesitate to question why people stop showing up because sometimes it's because they got caught, and we'd rather not think about that.
Okay.
In Ed's journal, he mentions his dead traps. Given what we've just shown you, is there any places you think that she might be, or anything she might associate with?
She doesn't seem to know. Like, it's a dead drop for a reason. So only people who are really privy to that. Maybe if she had gone along with Nor's thing, she would know.
Yeah.
Or Faynor.
Her name is Faye.
No.
I say from the other room. Yeah, we'll change the name on the list to Faye.
I'm gonna go by Faynor. Faynor. This is just absolutely incredible. How did you know Ed?
Well, we're in the same social circles. Once you get to this point, you have to rub elbows in order to keep your connections. And as much as I hated it, it's just something I needed to do to, just keep doing business.
Of course. And you didn't know after you introduced him to her that you didn't hear anything about their relationship?
I mean, we weren't close enough friends to really talk about we mostly talked about business and helping each other out in that sense, not so much personal things, because if you met him, he's not a very cordial person.
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
If you ever come across his brother, let him know we're sorry.
Sure, I will. And at that moment, you hear an alarm just go off.
I snap back to it. I'm back. I turn back into Mags.
And
I throw my hat back
all
on.
of her. You took the hat off at that point.
My hat was off when we were showing magic tricks, but then I put it back on.
Roll a d12 to see what you look like.
Oh yeah.
It does not work. Is that a 1?
It's a 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah. So that I thought it was a 1. So you're looking like a Boggs the Baker again.
Yeah.
Or unless, do you want to be a different comic?
Yeah, I want to look like a gardener.
Okay. Boggs the gardener.
Oh man. Yeah.
And
I go to the window and I'm gonna kind of like peek out to see who's coming.
You see 3 bandits just hauling ass towards the house.
Well, the good news is that it's not the Inquisition. The bad news is you got a couple bandits. I start heading out.
Soba.
I start walking out to confront them.
Okay. Let's roll initiative at
Oh,
this.
right before that, as I'm walking out, I'm gonna cast Celestial Skin on myself.
21.
Okay. Actually, let's get the initiative going. So.
But I'm able to do that
Franz is
before
21.
initiative.
Yeah.
All right.
What'd you
I
get?
rolled a 7, so I'm just gonna assume that I'm going last.
I don't know.
Surprisingly not.
Okay, well, I assume I'm going.
Did we add
I'll be right
anything?
back.
Your deck.
Dex.
So it's
6.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, you can just put it right there if you want.
Oh, cool. How many bandits are there?
Okay, 1 second. Mags would have relayed this, but she saw 3 out the window.
Yeah.
1 second. Just gotta set everything up. Alright, so I'm imagining that you guys go out of the house, so we're just gonna say that this
I'm not
is...
so sure.
Or... Okay, so anything... Let's just, for mechanics' sake, anything behind this purple line is inside the house.
Okay.
So if you want to be inside the house...
I figure over like the
jeez.
doorway.
Yeah, so you got this.
Would it be possible to go out of the house in like a side door to go around them?
Yeah, so you could choose, so we'll say that there's, let's see, what's this? This is another D. Oh my god, I got 3 fucking D10s, like a dope.
Fool.
Okay. Okay, 1 second.
Okay. I assume that I should be like in front of everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I
just want to soak up all these bandits and watch them die.
1 second.
Is Bruna gonna help us out in this fight?
It's possible.
All right. But let's just say as I'm walking out, I signal that like I'll take care of this for her troubles for us coming today.
Okay, so, and Bruna will be here.
It's not like my turn or anything, is it?
Franz is up first.
Okay. Just because the way that like everyone's just standing around not doing anything when I walk in, I was worried for a second that like
no, I was
somehow my
setting up-
7 roll was enough to.
30. The first one's 30 feet away. Okay. So that's how far away they are?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If you want to prep an action, I'll be in melee range with them.
Oh, I'm just gonna send Sova can go 60 feet, so
Okay.
she can come right there and back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to shoot
Which one?
the one that's 30 feet away.
Okay, Goldie.
Yeah, goalie to give me my advantage. That's gonna be a chance. That's a nat 20. Boom,
Oh,
baby.
nice.
Okay,
Good job.
so that is going to be 6. That's 11.
And then your sneak attack. Is it 2d6 right
Yeah,
now?
what did you get sneak attack?
Because Soba's on him?
Advantage. 11. That is going to be 20.
Wait. Why do you keep rolling in?
2 for the hand crossbow, 4 for the sneak attack.
You don't get
Yeah.
your sneak attack doesn't
Yeah,
double on
yeah, it does.
critical hits, does it?
Oh yeah, it does on critical
Oh,
hits.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, good
So
to know
that's
from the rogue in my
27.
campaign.
27.
Well,
so
bye bye, guy. You're
That's
dead.
going to be 31.
Jesus Christ. He seemed to be the boss, and you just fucking murk him in one shot.
Really?
Yes. Tell me how your crossbow just like demolishes this dude.
God, what do I want to say? I was gonna spend the entire session waiting for this moment. But I'm just gonna yell, "Hey, fuck you! I already got this joint on lock."
And fucking murder him. All right. Next up is
We
this.
both look at what's her face.
Yeah, I want some like Kill Bill, like
Yeah.
blood splurting nonsense.
Yes.
Okay,
I guess
thank you,
one
Dan.
through his throat, and you like it's I don't know. Just goes right through his throat, hits his jugular. He's done. So the next one is going to, what's he gonna do? He's going to make a short bow attack at Mags over here, and he's going to roll a 14. That does not hit.
Nope.
So then next up
I'm impressed.
is the red D10, who is going to do something similar, and he is going to roll a non-natural 20.
No, that hits.
Need to invest in more d6s.
For 8 damage.
All right.
Almost your temp HP. And then afterwards...
Well, I have 18 temp HP.
That is a lot.
Because
Next
a
up
10 from Celestial
Right,
Skin, and
right.
then I've got 8 from the False Life.
Yup. Okay, so Mags, you're up.
All right, how far away are they? 10, 20, 30. Okay, so I can get up in melee range. Okay. I have my shield out. Bonus action. A longsword. Wait, do I want to even use magic here?
I don't know, do you?
If I use magic, then they both have to die. If I don't, right now all that's happened is you shot an arrow at them. Alright, I don't. I start walking up.
I mean, I did just one-shot their boss. You could probably talk them down.
Yeah, so I'm walking up to both of them, and I'm free actioning. I'm gonna say, like, you best be leaving now, eh? You don't want what I kind of like gesture to this guy, and I'm kind of, you know.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I have not taking my back action or bonus action, but we'll say I've walked now like halfway up, and I'm seeing how they respond to that.
They're not listening to you. Like, they're not convinced.
nothing's gonna convince them.
Well, no, like, they're, you could see why, but they're just, they don't react to you, like, they don't answer, but they also don't stop their, they don't...
onslaught?
Yeah.
Can I roll a perception to see if I,
I'm going,
actually, no, never mind.
longsword into my hand, and I'm just gonna cut down this one right there.
Okay.
Let's see how badly I can roll today. So that's +7. That's a 17.
That hits.
Alright. 6 damage. I rolled a 1 on the attack.
Okay.
Good job.
On the D8. Okay. Next up is Boggs.
Well, sorry. I'm gonna move to within 30 feet of them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll just go out the front door. I'm not gonna worry about flanking or anything.
Okay. 5, 10, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's if you want to be within 30 feet of that one.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna thorn whip
Okay.
the whip.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, melee spell attack.
Okay.
That is a 11.
Does not do it.
Nah,
The whip goes out. Just like, doesn't grab onto him.
like
So
it's
you
ear.
hear a crash from the window to your right, Franz,
Okay.
as someone comes bursting through the window and coming up on Bruna.
Gotcha.
And he's going to make an attack with his short sword. Oop. And hits her for 5 damage.
Does she let out a scream or anything? Do I know this is happening?
You hear her like shout from being cut down, but she's not she's not like mortally wounded, if that makes sense. And then next we have Bruna, and she's going to attempt to grapple him.
Oh shit. Feisty.
Oh, and he rolled a nat 1, and she just she wraps around like us. So let's say he had one arm like down while the other was raised, and she was able to like get the other one. Then she just yanks the other arm down as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't really do anything at this moment, but she's going to make a bite attack. and does. Where's my
If
D4?
I guess. Never mind.
Well, just
No,
flavor.
I was
For
thinking
two
about if she
piercing
had
damage.
advantage. That's what I was
She
wondering.
did, but she rolled a 6. Oh, you know what? Let's see if she crits on him. No. So she does a 2 piercing
You're sitting
damage.
here wondering if I'm like gonna like be like, no, that's not how action economy works. I'm just sitting.
Yeah.
Well, she is grappled. Like that's what I'm thinking.
Prod, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I have advantage because he's grappled, right? The bandit that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna stab him with
Okay.
my rapier potentially. That's gonna be an 11. Yeah, 11.
That does not hit him.
Was it 11 plus your thing, or was it?
It was a 4 plus 5.
Oh,
So, yeah.
shoot! You advantage a 4 and a 3. He's really wiggling hard.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna go get away from this nonsense.
So how much feet did you move to get there? Like 20 feet?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Yep.
You're going to try and because yeah, she's short, so you can try and
Yeah, and I'm just gonna move 10 feet back.
Okay. Next up is the D6 baddie, and he is going to make
There's no D6. You mean the D8?
D8. Sorry. And he's going to drop his short bow and grab his short sword, and misses. And then the D.
He misses the short sword, or he misses with the short sword?
He misses with the short sword
Okay.
because he was just sloppily dropping it, picking it up, and he tried to make a slash at the same time. He just swung a little too wide. And then the D10.
I look at him with just this utter look of just disappointment.
Your magic scared him. Oh no, you longsworded, so never mind. Well, is it the magical?
A
Yeah,
long sword,
sorry.
a celestial,
Sorry.
it comes out and it's like the stars of the night, and then it coalesces
Yeah.
into the normal form, I assume, of a long sword.
Okay, yeah. So it scared him. So he was like, and the D10 is going to make a short bow attack on Boggs, and he rolled a 15. Does that hit?
It does.
Okay. For 6 damage.
Oof.
And
That's where my
there
AC
we
went
go.
up.
And next up is Mags.
I'll just cut down the guy in front of me again. That's gonna be a 22 to hit.
That hits him.
That'll be 10 damage.
Tell me how that kills him.
It's like he slashes up and it's kind of cut out his legs underneath him, and then I just slash across his chest and he comes down.
Fucking brutal.
I turn to the other one.
You're
and I say,
next.
I did give you the opportunity to just leave.
And Boggs, it's your turn.
All right, I keep this thorn whip ship going.
Mm-hmm.
It's 16.
That hits.
Yay. 1d6.
And that's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 damage.
All right. He's not looking too hot. Oh wait,
Piercing
no.
damage.
Sorry, wrong one. He's still not looking too hot, but he's not as worse. I was looking at the stats of the other one. And are you dragging him closer?
Yeah, 10 feet. That way Mags could easily get
Does that
right behind
provoke an opportunity attack?
Not
Darn
within
it!
5. You're not within 5 feet.
I wasn't within 5 feet of him?
You're
Really?
in this square.
Okay,
and there's a
okay.
square in
All right,
between.
all right. No, that's fine. I was just hoping, you know.
It's all good. So the bandit is going to make a strength check. Rolls a nat 1. So I'm going to say he accidentally, I don't know. What would make sense for him to, he's going to, accidentally, dislocate something. I don't know. For 2 damage, as he tries to.
He
Is he
sprained-
struggling against
yeah.
sprains his ankle.
Yeah, he sprained
So
something.
now he's got half movement and he can't get away as I murder him.
Jesus. And he fails his strength.
What do you think we're doing?
check.
We're out here just murdering. You just shot a guy through the face.
And Bruno's going to try and bite him again. Rolls a 5 both times.
Dope.
So she's
She gets
really
her teeth
doing her
in, but no
best.
damage. It's like,
Yeah, she bites, but she
It's
just
just
gets all cloth.
it's just a hickey at this point.
Goddamn.
She's
But
got
then
dentures and they're just
you
sliding.
hear a crashing sound from this window.
Well,
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh my god, it's the
And
boulder.
monstrous. Like you fought bugbears very recently.
Yeah.
This guy looks like a beefed up,
Can I see
less
him?
hairy bugbear. I don't think you would,
Okay.
because he's inside the house at this point.
Is he crossing like windows though as he's moving?
There's not like a real open window over here.
Okay.
Like he went through the window over here.
Is
So
there
like
an open door though? So if you were, I can see Franz here where I'm at.
the door. I was imagining the door here, but we could just say you could see see him. Like
okay, it's
rushing.
okay if I can't. I just need it helps me know for what to do on my turn.
Yeah,
Bro,
and give me 1
shoot.
second.
Can I get the
Um,
layout of the house?
Is he big enough that we can like hear him move though?
Oh,
From
you hear
outside?
like vroom, you hear the crash, and then just like stomp, stomp, stomp.
Sounds like an upstairs neighbor, but
No wonder
And
no one
he is
listening.
going to throw his javelin at you.
Okay.
1 second. Does not hit.
I just like.
But he
whoop.
he just throws, and just goes whizzing over you. And then we're back at the top.
Okay. I need to lay it out. Of
And
this
actually,
house.
have either of you dealt with a hobgoblin before?
We have now.
Yes, but okay. Then
I would say.
I thought we did in the road.
Bugbears.
Bugbears.
Those were bugbears.
I would say like historically, I probably have dealt with a hobgoblin.
Okay.
I would say my character's never been in combat,
Okay.
but has like fallen upon like a goblin lair. Oh shit! There's a hobgoblin. We need to jet.
Okay. You've seen a hobgoblin before. This is like beefier and worse than any hobgoblin.
It's a king hobgoblin. No.
So,
Um.
Franz, you're up.
Okay. Can I get the layout of the house?
Yeah, this is just like a big open, it's very similar to Ed and Al's mansion, where it's just
Okay.
like a big open layout over here,
It's a
and then
Mick
there's, what?
Nothing. Never mind. Sorry.
And then just like, dining room to one side, kitchen to the other, and then like rooms, along the hallway, and then a stair leading up to the second floor.
Okay. Okay. So at first, I'm gonna have Sova's gonna like dive bomb past this thing,
Mhm.
and then return back to my shoulders,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to try to shoot it with my crossbow.
Okay.
Hand crossbow. That is a 16, and then that's going to be a 19.
Okay, 16 does not hit, the 19 does.
Okay, cool. So that's 8, 12. That's going to be 16 points of damage.
Okay, how do you get sneak attack on that?
Advantage. Sova gave me advantage through the help action.
There we go.
And
And
then
how much again? I'm sorry.
16 damage.
Okay.
And then I am going to, because I haven't used my movement, I'm going to dash.
Mm-hmm.
And then with my bonus action, so I get 60 feet.
Mhm. You could get into another room.
I think I'm gonna try to head. Is there like? Would it take me upstairs?
Yeah, you could go up to the second floor and kind of remove yourself from.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so that's where you're at right now. I'm
Okay.
just taking you
Yeah.
off the map essentially.
That's fine. Just know I'm like 60 feet away.
Yep. The red D10 is going to make another attack at Boggs because he could kind of tell that Mags is a little too. Oh, rolls a 1.
I laugh at him.
Yes, he does that, and then he also he fumbles and like his weapon like kicks back at him, and
What
he
are
doesn't he doesn't
burglars
get
from
any
Home Alone?
damage from it, but it goes flying, and now he does not have his short bow anymore.
I just pity him. That's my
Mags, you're
action.
up. My action is pity. Mags, you're up.
All right. Let's guiding bolt that fucker.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll note that we've been using the help action wrong, but we can talk about that more later if you
Okay,
want.
I was
It's
actually
supposed to
thinking
be,
it sounds.
the enemy has to be within 5 feet of you in order for something to do the help action.
Yep.
So.
I was gonna look at the mechanics of that because it seemed a bit OP to have advantage.
All right, good. I didn't roll terrible on something. 22.
Yep, that hits him.
All right. 1 second. I actually need to look up guiding bolt because it's more dice than it used to be. All right. Damage increases by 1d6, so I roll 5d6.
Oof.
Radiant damage, and the next attack on him has advantage, so you get your sneak attack anyway. All right. That's going to be 11 plus 6, 17, and you were good. Plus 3, 20 damage.
You murk him. Tell me how he dies.
I pull out my hand, I go, poof, and just a flash of light shoots out, and it just disintegrates him,
Nice.
where he stands. And then and I can use my pack weapon, so it shoots out of my weapon, and then I just drag and pull my weapon towards the other guy. And I'm just gonna say, I gave you a choice, and I'll use my movement to get engaged in combat with that guy.
This one?
No,
What you kill this one?
I was shooting at the hobgoblin.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I misunderstood. What was the attack that you hit?
It was 22.
That still hit, but it doesn't kill him.
Okay.
But tell me what the damage was again.
20.
Okay.
So let's get him back to where he was.
Yep, my mistake.
And
I thought you meant that guy too.
Yeah.
So wait, so now that I know he's not dead, 10, 20, 30, and he's thorn whipped, so he's not really in too much danger of running. So I'm gonna run to the door, and I don't get all the way there, but I get to about right there.
Okay.
It's I'm pretty almost in melee range, and I'm gonna taunt him and say, "Come on, big guy."
Fair enough.
Can I make a check?
Let's do a.
Let's
we'll
dance.
deal with that. No, let's do it now.
All right. What am I making? What check?
Persuasion check.
21.
Okay. You could tell that he had his eyes on someone else, but you distract him enough that he turns to you. And now he looks ready to fuck you up. Next up is Boggs.
All right, I am going to run over to the D4.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So you'll be up here.
Which one is the good guy and which one is the bad guy?
The black
Good guy,
dice is the good
bad
guy.
guy.
Okay. But I can attack the bad guy?
Yes.
Yeah, and you get advantage on the attack.
You
Okay.
do.
I'm going to cast Shalah as a bonus action.
Shillelagh.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. What's it do?
It makes my melee weapon magical, and I can use my
Wisdom.
spellcasting ability instead of my
Nice.
crappy strength.
Nice.
Okay.
Very good at cantrip.
Yeah.
So, oh yes, that is a
You have
19.
You
Okay.
have advantage, so
Roll
you.
one more time to see whether or not you crit.
Not 3.
Okay. So, roll your damage.
You got the bad roll out of you. That's the
All right.
important.
That also increases it to a D8.
Nice.
So there's a D8. So it'll be 3
Do you get any more?
Plus your wisdom.
plus my
modifier.
wisdom, so 6 total.
Okay.
You walk up and you with
And
your
I
magical
say-
staff, you pop
As-
him on the
After
head.
I hit the dude in the head, I say, "Friends of yours?"
Nice. He's going to try and he's realized that Britta's a little too strong for him, surprisingly, considering she's fucking magical. And well, disadvantage. Okay. He tries to elbow her, but he's not able to. And then next up is Bruna, who is going to take another bite because she's got her arms full, so she's just trying
Girl,
to
you need to optimize
piece
your
away.
character. You don't have anything to do in combat but bite.
Well, she has more, but just think of the rumors of her.
Well,
No,
and
no.
she's currently grappling someone.
Yeah.
I'm more just kidding.
Oh, she crits on her bite.
That's 2 damage!
Dope.
3.
Oh, you're doing a d4 for the bite?
Yeah, 6. She actually just sinks her teeth into his jugular at that point. And it spurts all over her face, all over the walls, and he falls
From
limp.
inside the door, do I see this?
You would hear a blood-curdling scream.
Alright,
don't know
I
if
yell,
knew.
"You go, girl!"
There we go. And next up is the hobgoblin. Oh yeah, he has to go after you. 1 second, let's see.
It
what
doesn't
he's
have
got
to.
here.
I mean, that's totally
Well,
up to your
but-
discretion. I'm just
Yeah,
taunting
but
him
I
and
like-
trying to get him to fight me.
I like the taunt, so he's going
You did just
to
light him up too.
make 2 attacks at you. The first
Oh,
one.
is he going to get in melee range?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Alright.
Sorry.
Did you just burst through the wall Kool-Aid Man style?
Yes. First one's a 17. Does that hit?
That hits.
Okay. And then let's just see what the second one is. The second one would be a non-natural. No, it's a 19, so both of them hit.
Yep.
So what he's going to do is first.
He takes 10 damage after the first one hits.
Yep, we'll deal with that in a second.
Just in case, I mean, if he were to die, for instance, then that would be a big deal. That would be important to note.
Yep. So 1 plus. Oh wait. 3, 5. 9. Oh, that didn't.
He's rolling a lot of dice. That's scary.
9. 25 damage.
Between all of it?
Because he's using his martial advantage once per turn, the hobgoblin can. Nope, he can't. So never mind. 15.
15 damage.
Because originally he was going to. There
All
has
right.
to be another enemy in 5 feet, and he was going to do
That's
that to
both
bots.
attacks?
That's with both attacks.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
So 15. Okay, so
Yep.
I've taken 22 damage total. He takes
Yep.
10.
He does. He's not looking that hot. And next up is Franz. You're
Cool.
out of combat area right now, unless you plan on using a ranged
You
attack.
have advantage on the strike on him
Cool. I'm gonna shoot
because of my guiding bolt.
hobgoblin.
Gives the next attack advantage.
Where are you?
Oh wait,
Oh.
you're upstairs though. So
Okay, then I'll use my movement
say-
and my bonus action to
yeah,
get to a point where I can shoot him.
yeah. Well, you could just use your movement to get down to the
Yeah.
first floor and
Yep.
shoot him from there. So
Okay, so that is
Did you take advantage?
yeah. I'm just doing it in my head. That's going to be 18.
that hits.
Okay, cool. 6, 8, 12.
Tell me how that kills him.
Okay. I wanted to get lodged in his eye, and I want him to stumble about because he just got shot in the eye. And I
Uh-huh.
want him to fall face forward, and then
And it
because
pops.
it pops in deeper into the brain because of the
Gross.
force of him falling.
That's disgusting.
Reminds me of a pencil trick I saw once.
Ah, no.
Yep, that's exact. Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
I hate that scene. Yeah. So that guy, while you were fighting, actually, damn it, 1 second. You're still technically in no, wait. Did I kill that guy off without meaning to?
No, you thought I targeted him with guiding bolt, but I didn't.
There we go. So at that point, when he sees, pretty much the big guy go down, he just hands up.
Hands up. Okay,
So both of them
that's
are
a
hands
good
up?
way to
Yeah.
possibly live, little guy.
So these two are dead. That one, just he knows.
Who
he's
killed
fucked.
Who killed the grappled?
She did.
Bruna.
Bruna.
Oh, yeah?
She just bit into him. She kept biting until.
So I'm gonna
Gross.
walk up to that one right
So
after,
she ate him to death.
I guess,
Yeah.
once the second I see his hands go up, so I want to try to get
Mhm.
to him right away, and I just want to be like, so, what brought you here?
If I tell you, will you not kill me?
Are you in a position to bargain?
I come out as well.
No, but I still want to know.
I want you to live as much as I want to eat dinner tonight, and I'm feeling hungry.
I pat my crossbow and I'm like, I took care of your boss and your hobgoblin on your knees now.
Uh,
I
Take
think
a
he's
weird
already
turn.
on his knees.
at this point, between the two of you,
Yeah.
knees, hands up.
You're not in a room. I mean, if you want to live, you need to start barking right now.
And he goes, I was hired to get the dwarf lady, the magic
Who
dwarf
hired
lady.
you?
To get, as in not kill, take her away.
No, to kill.
Who hired you?
you? Not that I'm there, but yeah.
My boss knew I was just part of the.
Oh, you're gonna have to give some better
He's
information.
like-
Would your boss have that information on him right now?
I start.
It's possible. I
I'm
don't
gonna-
know.
I'm gonna
I just do
look
what
through
my
his
boss
shit.
says.
My sword is at his throat while he's doing this.
Okay.
That's
no
an
funny
18
business.
to look through his stuff.
Yeah, you find just a bunch of rando shit that's not of real use. You do find
What
a
race is the thing
promise.
that I'm interrogating?
What?
Is it a
He's a
human?
human.
Okay.
Yeah. You do find kind of something that says a down payment, and then that says he's got some gold in a purse, and inside the purse is another note that says the rest will be made
Any names or signatures
I
or
was
seals?
getting there. The rest of the payment will be made upon like proof of death, signed by some noble name.
Okay.
You could do a history check.
Notable names.
You're really good at rolling your dice off the desk.
I know, it's one of my biggest traits. Okay, it's gonna be a 13.
You've definitely seen the name before. You can't remember.
Okay.
And you'll.
Is it Dudison?
Do I know where?
No, it's not. It's not Dudeson. Let me think of what's a fancy name.
Woodmere.
Woodmere.
Galveston.
Galveston. There we go. Woodmere Galveston. Do a. Are you going to share that with your friends?
Noble name
I want to know
heard of.
before I share anything. Like, do I know the location of the drop, or the meetup place, or whatever? Like,
No, it just says that name and a promise to pay the rest upon delivery.
It's Woodmere Galveston guys, and I go up to him and I'm like, okay, what were you supposed to do after you killed the dwarf?
We take her head and show it to the dude.
Specifically, head?
Or yeah, I mean, it's the best body part to take to
Was
show that
anything
they're dead.
specified?
What do you mean?
Did the employer ask for anything specific, or did he just say
Proof of death.
proof of death?
And
Okay.
you know, a finger doesn't quite do it.
So listen here. You're kind of in a bind. Eh?
Mm.
You got a family?
And at this point, Bruna's up there with you.
I fill in Bruna.
I've been taking care of Bruna. Make sure she's okay. Does she need healing?
Oh, she walks up. Did she take damage?
She took a little
She
bit.
took a little bit.
She's all right though.
So
Yeah,
Not like
she's
flatlining?
she's not flatlining, but she does look a little worse for wear.
All right.
So
I help her out to the
So
yard.
I'm talking to the bandit. So you got a family or anything?
are you gonna kill them too?
No. Here's the thing. You're not really going to be doing this line of work anymore, are you? Knife goes like sword gets a little closer. Are you?
I don't know. No.
Do you have any hobbies, any appreciable skills that you can use to maybe not be a fucking idiot?
I've got an idea.
What?
Why don't we take that boss's head, minor illusion it to look like our friend's head here. Have this fella.
Well,
take us to
you
his
can
boss.
use minor illusion. I
Oh,
know
that
you
makes-
just got the spell, buddy, but you could just make the head appear. You don't need another head to make a head.
No, but he actually is making a really good point. Minor illusion is not going to hold up to inspection, but if it has the weight of a head, we might be able to fool a little bit better.
Like if
We
you're
could even
able
toss
to.
Yeah.
At the guy.
Because if
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Okay,
it's
well,
not
hold on. We
visible,
gotta
but anyway,
take care of this little.
Well, yeah,
this
let's
little
not
twink.
metagame right
What's
now.
your-
Well, what
what's
I'm
your
saying
name,
is,
little
this
guy?
guy can lead us to whoever is asking for this head.
Yeah, where
I don't know. I don't know who asked. You know,
Yeah, it's fine.
who
You're
hired my
just
boss. I
an
don't know where.
Well, just repeat after me.
After
I'm
me, after
just
me,
an
after me,
idiot
after me.
who doesn't know anything about this,
I'm just an idiot who doesn't know anything about this.
and I'm in way over my head.
I'm in way over my head,
And I would just really like to go home
and I just really like to go home.
and see my mom.
My mom's dead.
your dad.
He's dead too.
Your loved ones.
Do you have a sister,
No,
brother?
no.
That's really
Do you
unfortunate.
have a dog?
isn't it?
No one will
Yeah.
miss you?
Okay, your dogs.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
go
see my
home and
dog.
see your dog. You know, does your dog like to lick your face?
No.
That's weird.
Do you like to pet your dog?
Yeah.
Do you want to pet your dog
Yeah.
again? That's good. Listen, listen, let me put it this way. I don't know what it is about my life, but I run into people like you all the time. And I very often have to kill them. Do you know what's going to happen if I run into you again?
You're gonna kill me?
Yes. Do you want to die?
No.
Then don't see me again. Now get out of here, and I kick him.
Wait, but before he leaves, then he gets kicked and I pull him by the collar. And I'm like, where were you supposed to go after this?
Home.
No, you know where you were supposed to deliver the body.
For somebody who supposedly knows a lot about how crime works, you know very little about how crime works.
I know
Let
a
him
lot.
go.
I'm
Where-
not convinced he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I'm convinced he knows where they were supposed to go with this body because he
Yeah.
said we were supposed to go meet with him.
He knows what's up.
Yeah, but I was gonna follow my boss there.
So you just follow your boss. You have you didn't know you were coming out here to do a thing.
Well,
You just
exactly.
followed your boss.
Because the more I know, I'm clearly letting spilling my guts to you. You know, if put up to torture, I would let out any secret
I'm gonna
that
make
was
a
given to me.
insight check.
So
to see.
therefore, I'm full
Yeah,
of
I'll
shit.
insight check him too.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a 20.
Okay,
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen,
you can
he
tell
doesn't
that-
know.
Whatever.
Let's just let him go. But listen, 2 things. Just reiterate. Now, I'm not gonna catch you doing this shit again.
How many people are
2.
are in your little guild here that didn't show up today?
A lot.
2. Ixnay
You
on
know
the
what those
magic
people
say, okay? Okay, don't let anyone know that we were using magic here.
He's just gonna run off and tell his buddies.
Yeah, that's what he's pretty much gonna do.
Yeah.
See, just confirmed it.
So let's kill him.
No, we're not gonna kill
Well,
him.
I just said Ixnay on the magic say, and he said yes. Like, yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone about the magic.
I thought he was
It's not
saying
right.
yes to what Bog said
No,
about.
Sorry.
he was responding to my
He was
question.
responding to you. What did Bob
Yeah.
say?
He asked how many of them there were.
A lot.
And I said that he's just gonna run off.
To tell his friends.
Are you going to run off and tell your friends? Do you
No.
remember that little hobgoblin guy? We took him out in like 6 seconds. Do you really think that even you, all your friends, could take us?
No.
Next time he'll show up.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
2 or 3
You know, what's your
hobgoblins.
name again?
John.
John. You got a good head on your shoulders. Go back to your dog, pet it, and find a new line of work. Now get out of here.
He scrams.
I shoot him with an. I don't have an arrow, but if I did, I'd shoot him.
I give you my crossbow.
Why do I have to
Shoot him.
constantly make dex
Okay, then
checks with
he's.
this?
Are you gonna roll?
I make a dex check to stop. Like I feel like I have
Yeah.
to constantly be stopping you guys from doing dumb stuff. It's fine. You're just playing your characters. I'm playing mine. All right. So bad news, Bruna.
Yeah, my windows are busted.
Yeah. Worst news is that this guy Galveston wants you dead. Do you know him? I assume you
I've heard the
probably
name.
do.
A lot of people want me dead.
Yeah. Do you think it's okay? You think it's still okay for you to be here?
No, I was just. I don't know. It's hard for me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to, just pick up and go when you got your whole life here and you're hoping that, this is the one place, Lance is going to come back to if he ever comes back.
Feel that.
And I don't want it to be empty.
That makes sense.
I mean, we can go. I feel like we can help each other here. We need to find Feanor. You want to not leave your house and die. We could probably go take care of this problem. I feel like we should take care of this problem.
We can discuss going to get the problem, but what I think the thing to note is that even if we go take care of Galveston or whatever his name is probably this. It seems like you've made quite a few people who are interested in your demise. So even if we take care of this guy, which I'm not saying we're not gonna do, I don't know how much it's gonna help you in the long term.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it gives her time to get things in order. She's got a lot of stuff in there.
I'm glad that we were here today, though. And,
Yeah.
And I hope you see that I'm not all bad. I'm not just trying to kill people willy nilly.
Mm. I mean, I appreciate.
But then I start remembering all the shit that we've been discussing.
Yeah. And she goes, I truly appreciate, you being willing to, put yourself out on a limb for me here, but there really are too many people too high up. And I think it is going to be best for me to leave here.
If you want, we can escort you back to Dorking and get you with Knock, and maybe they can figure out what to do with you.
That's a weird way of putting that.
I think that might be best.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Should we burn down the house?
No!
No, that's
She's like, no,
that's
this
not-
is,
that's
we,
not
I
like
built
our-
this from the ground
that's
up. I
not
don't
like
want
our
this.
signature thing.
That's not our signature thing.
So okay.
So I'm gonna
Since
cut
we're
off.
leaving the house,
Mhm.
and you're not super planning on coming back, is there anything we should take with us or anything?
I mean, I guess I should just, pack some stuff up, take the horses, get the dog. So, and at this point, you hadn't seen the dog. But it's
There's a
somewhere-
woofer?
There is.
While you're doing that,
If she died,
I'm
you
gonna
would have
sit.
gotten the
I'm gonna
woofer.
sit down and
I kill her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and take a short rest.
Mhm.
Maybe use.
She'll pack up, and you could tell that while you're short resting and you're aware of her going about the house and doing everything, you notice she's having a really tough time figuring out what she wants to take with her because there's just so many things of sentimental value, and eventually she figures out how to house most of the magical items with the exception of 3, conveniently.
Ho ho!
So 1 second.
I put back on the false life and I used some hit die to get back my HP.
Nice. So Boggs, you first. Roll a d4.
2.
Okay, now roll a d20.
13.
You get an elixir of health, which is just another like nicer potion of 1d8 plus 1. But actually, it's pretty much that it's like a healing potion, but we'll give it some flavor. She pulls out something from her case, and it's a little it's like a flower, but it's fossilized. And she goes, it's kind of like a hard candy. I licked it once and I felt better, but I didn't want to, eat it. But
How old is she?
she's like mid-20s.
Okay.
Oh,
never
okay.
mind.
I thought she was an older lady.
Yeah, I was imagining like some like Werther's originals here.
Oh no, sorry. And she goes, I felt bad, eating it, being that I found it on a dig, and we're meant to preserve these things, but I mean, it's gonna get demolished by anyone who wants to ruin my house while it's empty. So might
Yeah,
as well
right.
let it go to use.
I think so. Make good use of this.
You roll a d4.
3.
Roll a d20.
Nat 1.
Ring of jumping.
Ring of jumping.
While wearing this ring, you can cast jump, the jump spell from it as a bonus action at will, but the target can only be yourself.
Cool.
Damn.
What's the jump spell?
Yep, and I'm going to say once per day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Roll a d4.
3,
Roll a d20.
13.
Ooh. Ring of X-ray vision.
Damn.
While wearing this ring, you can use an action to speak its command word. When you do so, you can see through solid matter for 1 minute. It has a radius of 30 feet. To use, solid objects within that radius appear transparent and don't prevent light from passing through them. The vision can penetrate 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, or up to 3 feet of wood or dirt. Whenever you use this ring again, before you take a long... I'm just going to say once per day.
Okay.
You can do that.
Neat.
Oh, how much
Cool.
gold was
Thanks
in
for the candy, lady.
You
Well,
roll.
is the elixir of health like
Sorry.
is it a permanent buff or anything? Like a permanent health buff or anything?
No, he just got a one-time use candy. But you did get a hat last time, so
Yeah, the hat is coming handy.
you just happened to roll poorly at this.
There's more
this
stuff.
chart. Well, no, it's there's
It was
there's
a
a lot of
table.
shit. Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. All right.
The D4
so
was probably
she-
more important than the D20 in this case.
Yeah, it was like a what category? So he got the category of potions. So yep,
We got the category of rings.
yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, she had room for everything except 2 fucking rings and a candy. Which makes no narrative sense whatsoever, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, she's just a nice lady. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, these guys could use this ring of extra vision more than I could.
Yeah. So she does that, and she says, I only have 2 horses, mine and Lance's.
So
I don't
we'll
know.
make our way. We'll make our way.
Okay.
Well, do you know how to access Nox stuff with by yourself?
No.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I
saying that I can't have everyone ride 1 horse. We
Oh,
could take turns
before we
now.
forget,
What?
this is worth mentioning. Dorking is in a bad spot right now.
We don't-
Super bad spot.
We don't know
Mega
that.
bad spot.
We don't know that.
But we do. We
just-
super know. So Inquisition's there.
It was there
Yeah, but we
like
also
4 days ago.
4 days ago I killed a guy.
The Inquisition
They're
doesn't.
investigating
Yeah,
the fact that Ed was killed and their house burned down. They're probably still there. FYI. Just FYI.
but don't worry, I can get
So-
you in and out.
she's a little nervous when he says about the Inquisition, and she goes,
They killed me.
"It.
Yeah, that's a whole story. We
She-
didn't get there.
How'd you get back?"
I don't know. Still trying to figure that one out. No necromancy. They just stabbed me
As
and
soon
then.
as you say no necromancy, she's like, "Oh." Okay. She turns to you and she goes, "Maybe directions would be best, and I can lie low until I'm sure that the Inquisition is gone."
Okay.
Actually, I have an idea.
What?
Could go stay with your old friend Robert.
That I didn't consider that. And she's like, I don't know. I was pretty fucking mean to him.
Yeah, but desperate times, and we're all in this together.
You have
You
a
can make
great
amends.
opportunity here
Mhm.
to make things right. You don't look at the negatives of life like, you know.
Roll a persuasion check, because that was a good one. I like it. With advantage, because it's to both of you.
We're going to both roll?
I mean, I have
well,
a plus
each of
6
you.
to persuade.
Oh, yeah, you're Gucci.
Okay. So then you could roll with
Oh,
advantage.
that's a 25.
You've convinced her. She was, she was pretty nervous because you could tell that she was really she must have said some really mean shit to him. But she's like, you know what? I guess an apology is due regardless, no matter what. So, yeah, okay. I guess I don't. I think I could make my way.
Yeah, I don't
Through.
see there being any issues.
If you want to join me,
Why
I
don't
mean, I
you,
don't know what's the
What's the name of that town that we were just in? The one.
Yunkel?
Yukel?
Yukol.
You should avoid Yukol. I don't think the people there are too would be quite happy to see you so soon
Yeah.
again.
I am just going straight to Robin's house, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any trouble. We didn't see any trouble both ways, to be frank. I do know that, the Inquisition is spreading.
Mhm.
Robert knows this, so
Mhm.
he should have some sympathy in his heart, I hope.
Mhm.
Let's go find Galveston.
Yeah, I want to make sure I loot everything though.
She took her whole.
No.
Sure.
I meant I want the hobgoblin.
Oh,
the bandits.
okay.
Because I know you said there
And
was
you're
some
gonna
gold.
split everything right there, pal.
1 second, I have to pull
maybe.
up the charts from last week.
Otherwise, then I have to start investigating bodies poorly, and then we don't get everything.
Okay, 1 second.
It's your choice.
I'll roll another
How? Because I rolled way too far back. 1 second.
explore investigation.
Roll a d12.
Okay. 4.
You find a devil's mask. A
Ooh.
mask in the, and it will add +2 to intimidation checks. But it's a little too big for you.
That's fine.
So you gotta do something to it to make it not loose if you were to use it in battle.
I'll use it. I won't necessarily use it in battle. I got plans for this thing.
Okay.
How much gold did I get from the dude?
Yeah, that
the
purse.
half down. So the half down would have been 26.
26 gold. Okay.
Did either of you want to loot the bandits or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, roll a d12.
Oh, it did be 12. Okay. 9.
9.
Wait, no, 6. Sorry.
Okay. 6. You find a 6-sided die that weighs a little more than it should. And
We both got a way to die. Hell yeah.
Yep. And you rolled a 9. You find a vial of acid. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 acid damage.
2d6 acid.
Yep. So that's what you find on the hobgoblin and the bandits.
Dope. Okay. I burned down the house. I'm
No.
kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
Sorry.
Just making
Yeah.
a calling card. Okay, cool. Gucci. Well, I cut off the leader's head, stick it in a burlap sack, and
Ew,
we can get
gross.
going.
Roll a sleight of hand because I want to see how gnarly you make the cut. If it's
Oh.
clean or
Ooh.
it was a poor.
Can I make a insight check to what I think the bandits, what kind of cut they would make?
They
'Cause-
didn't have that great of a weapon, so you imagine
Yeah.
it would be a little gnarly.
Yeah, I want it to be super gnarly.
Okay.
Sleight of hand. Good thing I rolled poorly. It's 10
Yeah.
with my bonus. Yeah,
It's pretty gnarly.
dope.
You
Okay.
use your dullest knife and just.
Yeah. Okay.
And it takes a little while.
And then I
Gross.
here I'll roll a d12. Where's my d12? I want to cast minor illusion. Just
there's a
It's only
like
less than an hour.
yeah.
No, I'm just seeing because I've never cast it before. I'm just seeing how well I can
Oh.
do it. So I'm
Okay.
just playing around. That's a 2, and I'm like,
Yeah,
and it's like,
it's
oh,
kind of
I'm like,
crappy.
I'll cast Minor Illusion and on it.
What is that a level 1?
It's cantrip.
Cantrip. Okay, so then yeah, you don't have to roll a d12 on it. So tell me what are you trying to make it look like?
Just look like her head.
Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure. But
It's like-
yeah,
so I'm holding like, got a lot of
so
work I
it's
need
kind
to
of
do.
like you've got the head and the thing is like following it along, like in front of it. So it's almost like seeing like a 3D image a little bit.
Okay.
But you guys know that it's that you're casting it. So someone who doesn't know that it's being cast has to, kind of really be looking.
Yeah, I
at
don't
it.
know if this is gonna work particularly well, but
I mean, all we need to do is pull it out, maybe throw it on the ground, it'll roll a little bit. I doubt they're gonna like get down there and really look at it.
I mean, what is our goal right now? What are we hoping to accomplish?
I mean, okay.
Going into a rich man's house, throwing somebody else's the bandit leader's head on the floor. Let's just assume it goes poorly for just a second.
Poorly, then we do what we always do and hightail it. No, I'm just saying this is an option. I'm giving us an option.
Do we even want to deal with this guy?
We don't have to. Just giving us again an option.
I mean, because he could just reasonably assume that, like, the only reason I feel that we should go attack, or not necessarily go and confront this guy, is if we are going to either A, insinuate that she's dead, so that way he doesn't keep doing what he's doing, and maybe he tells his friends who also dislike her that she's dead, right?
Mhm.
Or we're going to kill him.
Well, I have a third idea.
Now, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to die. I mean, I think anyone who just hires assassins to go kill... Assassins is a nice word. Hires
Really
idiots,
shitty bandits.
idiots to go kill...
Well, they were actually rogues with the assassin thing, but they never had a chance to have advantage to really.
Haha.
So they just look like idiots to us.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, anyone who is bad is idiots in our clan's eyes.
Here's my idea. See, he clearly has a network. He's searching out magic folk, okay? I don't know exactly why. We still need to figure that part out. But if he's searching out magic folk, we come out, be like, hey, we did it. We want to receive the rest of the payment, or we could try to pretend to be the bandits, whatever.
But we don't even know where the drop is, where we're supposed to do this exchange.
Yeah, we don't.
This just seems like a real dead end here.
Potentially.
Shoot!
What?
Is she still around?
No, she gone.
Well, no, I would say that she hasn't like.
Just
she's
check the
not
other
leaving
names
until
on this
you're
list. Do
leaving.
you know any of these other folks?
Oh.
Fuck. That was important.
We skipped over that part of the conversation.
Yep. Give me 1 second. She tells you the same thing about Beatrice, saying that she was taken by the Inquisition.
Yeah.
She recognizes Answith, but there's a bit of new information because everyone before is like, yeah, like she owns like this like large company and she's doing stuff. But because Bruna is part of the upper class, she is able to get a little bit more information about that, and she tells you, she's been buying up land in the West Bogs, forcing farmers out of their homes, and it's causing a bit of a, I don't know, there's rumors of like an insurrection over there, to fight what she's doing, but I don't think it's really going to go in the poor man's favor, unfortunately.
We should go kill Answith then. Power to the people.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Let's enjoy the
Answith?
insurrection. Yeah.
Answith is our friend.
We don't know that.
No, you never met Answith.
I thought Answith was the farmer, the cactus farmer.
That was
that's
Robert.
Robert.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Answith is the owner of the
Never mind.
supplier.
Never mind. Yeah. I know. I just got the names mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Well,
Good to know.
She
I mean,
has
we've
like
kinda
relatively
reached it
like unimportant things to say about most everyone else. She doesn't know all that much about Hellmayer.
this is
Just that she's like a very secretive person that's been skulking around the capital. She's doing stuff. She seems like a go-getter, but she doesn't really know what
Mhm.
getting she's going.
so
And she recognizes Stenery. but you already know that he is a kind of funny, weird guy who lives by the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So, we met then, right?
No, you have not.
Okay.
We've met Robert, Mary, now Bruna,
Yeah.
and that's
So you
it.
have no idea where the person you know as Nor might be.
I know that she always went back to the capital.
All roads lead to the capital.
So pretty much the two people that are in capital area are Feanor and Answith. No, not Answith.
Helmir?
Helmair, thank you.
Helmir.
Answith is doing stuff to the south of the capital, but you don't know where
would
she
still be on the
is.
way to the capital.
If you,
for us.
yeah, you could either go like this or cut through the mountain and go south. The closest one would be Fenry, who is at the foot of the mountain, and she goes, I mean, it's not too far out of your way to stop, and if you needed a place to stay for the night, he would probably put you up.
I mean, it's worth noting at this point that we don't really need the list anymore. We don't need to find all these other people.
Yeah, we know who we're after.
Potentially.
Do you think? So you were doing these recruiting things, and you noted that the person you call Nor was we're trying to tell people about this other magic. And so, do you think Answith might have been the kind of person to take her up on that offer?
I don't know who she spoke with. All I know is right after we had our meeting where we tried to recruit Edward, she stopped attending. So I'm not going to say that there's no one that she could have talked to before she talked to us, but I don't think she talked to anyone after she talked to us.
Well,
From Knock, at least. That's not to say that they're. I mean, Knock is probably just one of many, magical circles. So, if this is what she did, maybe she was going from circle to circle, recruiting someone from, everywhere, I guess. And once she found her, person here, then she might have gone elsewhere to find another person at a different spot.
Well, we're a bit of a rudderless boat right now, aren't we?
I mean, there's always Woodmere Galveston.
That wouldn't be.
You don't want the
Did-
DM writing a whole other bullshit thing.
That's, I guess. Ox, you got a bone to pick, eh?
Indeed.
Let's go pick it.
Insurrection.
Love it.
I think my people need me.
So it would take you, like I said, it would be 2 weeks if you go around the mountains, about a week if you go straight through, but
Let's
there
go
is
through.
danger if you go straight through.
Okay, I say we stop and see this old pal of yours, Fenry. He may know something a little bit more about Nora, might not, but at least we know we have safe haven there potentially. And then, you guys want to go through the mountain?
Yeah, we can stock up on supplies in that town that's right outside the mountain.
Yeah, do that. I think it sounds okay, guys. I know we're about to Lord of the Rings this. We at least know we're doing it by choice.
Yeah. It's not snowy mountains. Just to let you know. It's doesn't snow
So,
Get hiking
around in
gear.
these parts.
so we're on our way. Go to town, get the stuff, start on our way. I assume we can't get to Fenry today. By the time we get to the town, it's nightfall. So stay in like a lesser expensive inn for the night.
Yeah.
What's the cost of that?
Probably like 5.
No, it'd be like like 5 silver to stay at the normal one.
Since we have like 11 minutes
We gotta
left,
get like
do
fleas.
some shopping, I guess.
Yeah, you could do shopping if you wanted. You could carouse, which is like the rolling a D100 on the chart. I will say, like I like carousing for the randomness of it. It can gain you friends or enemies, but carousing will not stop the progress of what you're doing.
69.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I'm interested in finding a fight club.
I want to carouse.
I want to find a fight club.
Nice. Okay. Roll a roll a d20 because I feel like that would be kind of like an underground thing, and see if you're able to find a beat on it.
Okay.
1 second.
Any of my city
Ooh.
secret stuff come in
With
advantage?
advantage.
Okay.
1 second.
And it was an investigation or just a straight D20?
Investigation.
16.
Okay, you'll find something. I
17.
have to. In the morning, you wake up in an alley. A group of local children are poking you with sticks and arguing whether or not you're dead.
I'm like, who had alive?
And as soon as you jump up, they scatter. You
I
scare
wanna-
the shit out of
Oh
them.
man, I want to declare the winner. Cool. I pat myself down to make sure I had everything.
You do.
Gucci.
31.
I thought that was 51, but I think
That's
it was 31.
Yeah,
I
31.
don't know if I moved it when I moved it. We'll say it's 31.
31. You wake up in your bed. You're spooning someone who looks almost exactly like you.
Ew.
That's all. So we could deal with that.
I didn't say I put my hat on yet, so. But
Dope. That's
It's like-
so cool.
But yeah, I would have
we'll
put my
say-
hat on before we got.
Oh no, I like the possibilities of you finding another
Oh.
Bogsy.
Swamp lover.
I don't think that they would have been like walking around this town. But we'll say they look like a human version of you.
No, I would have put my hat on,
Yeah.
right? So I would look
Um,
like a gardener, I guess. So.
Yeah. Roll a. So you find a fight club. What's your goal? Do you
I'm
want?
gonna get into a fight.
Okay.
Can I actually?
Lawfully.
Can I go with him, and that's how I wind up in the alley at some point?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah. How about this? Are you gonna bet any money on Mags beating the shit? Or
Yeah, I'm betting on Mags.
Okay. I'm gonna let you roll with advantage because you're probably more beefed up than. Well, are you doing a fist fight or are you doing? You can't use magic here, so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use magic. I can have
Okay.
false life on, right? Because
Okay.
like that's kind of just like a passive magic thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm not gonna use invisibility, cure wounds, guiding bolt, or celestial skin, or
Yeah.
light, sacred flame, green flame. I could maybe cast minor illusion if I really wanted
What
to.
about
Yeah.
Armor of Agathis?
That shoots radiant energy at
Yeah.
whoever
Oh, yeah.
punches me, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't be
I'll
good.
let you roll with advantage but before you roll, how much are you going to bet?
81 gold.
And I was gonna say like if you win it doubles. If you lose,
Okay.
you lose.
Yeah. Yep.
It. Okay.
I'm all in.
So roll
I'm
with
looking to
advantage.
get beat up.
Well.
So you're not trying to win.
I'll try to win, but it's like I'm going in with I want
then
to
roll
get hurt.
without advantage if you're looking to get beat up in the process.
All
And
right.
if you roll 11 to 20, no, sorry, 10 to 20, you win. 1 to 9, you lose.
Well,
All right,
fuck
I mean,
me.
I don't get to like punch anybody or get punched or
Well,
do anything.
Like it's going to be a straight up whether you win or lose,
Oh, okay.
and how close to 20 and how close to 1 is like the flavor.
Okay.
Come on, money.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Yes.
Tell me how the fight goes.
So I just kind of enter the
Yeah.
I kind of enter the ring, and I'm just like so emotional and angry. And like there's just like this big burly guy, and I'm just like this this go woman,
Yeah.
but he starts going, and like I actually just let him like hit me. I get a couple black eyes,
Mhm.
and then like I just start like with tears in my eyes, just like "Argh!" and I start like beating the fuck out of this like big guy, and then like he gets on the ground, like the ref has got like pull me off because like I'm just going at him.
Nice.
But like I'm fucked like in the face. Like I let him like punch me.
Solid.
I like grab you by the shoulders, like you're a fucking gold mine.
Yeah, you helped.
Did
And I'll
I
say
get any mode for
I was
gold
about
for
to say
winning?
you definitely get gold for winning. I'm gonna say, you'll get 81 as well because
Wow.
he got that too, and
All
like
right,
it.
40 plus. Alright, so 40 plus 80 is 120.
I mean, there's a lot of
Damn,
like,
I
but
gotta
here's
go
the
spend
thing.
this
Bear in
money.
mind, there's a rich there's a lot of rich people that like bet on like watching people like
Yeah.
watching the lower
We've all
class.
seen Django
Yeah.
Unchained.
Yeah, so like there was a lot of money being passed around that night.
Alright.
Yeah, we just got like
Some like one rich like benefactor, like who's that guy Fisk who like hired us? Like he's like sitting there like, and he's like, I know this person's pretty tough. Like puts down a bunch of money and no one thinks of it, anything of it, and he gets like, all right.
Yep.
Then I go
So-
and I stay in an inn for 5 silver.
Yep.
Oh,
Nice.
Feeling, I'm just patting my back.
Well, you made a big risk, betting 81 gold, so it kind of all went off of your original bet because you could have lost.
I could have
81
been back to where I began in the sewers. But I
Can
did
you
wake
tell-
up in the alley. I'm like, drinks are on me, and then I just
And
went.
luckily, none of the kids rifled through your pockets that night.
Yeah.
Because
Oh man,
that
you
would
should
have
have
been
had
so much.
him.
No, I already told him everything's all there. I'm not gonna, take that
Mm.
back. But that was before I had known about that. Well, they're poking you with sticks. They were probably too afraid to go near you.
So I guess I didn't even not even have to deduct 5 silver because I just passed out in an alley.
Yeah,
Story of my life.
yeah. Well, and do you tell Boggs about it the next day?
Bugs, you are not gonna believe we are on the wrong path. We need to get into the frickin' prize fighting. We got our heavy hitter right here.
I don't know if I'm with you first thing. I mean,
Okay.
I actually went back to the inn, unlike these two. So if you're with Boggs, you're not likely with me.
At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boggs
Oh,
said-
your Boggs woke up.
Yeah,
I didn't wake up with Boggs waking up next to somebody. Right, we're in different
Right.
no,
rooms.
I
Oh
got
yeah.
mine.
So.
Okay, good.
We're always
Okay.
trying to
All
shit
right, so you
people
come
now.
back. I'm eating breakfast. I got a huge black eye on my face, which I could make go away if I wanted to.
Yeah. So what does morning look like between the three of you? You woke up
I'm pretty
sleeping
happy.
next to someone for the first
This
time.
hat's really working out for me.
I am beaming, probably more than you, because I'm gonna get into gambling now. Is there a gambling subclass I'm not aware of?
This should be.
That is. I thought I heard a boop.
Man.
And does Mags tell what happened, or do you?
I don't care about what happened. I just eat my breakfast in peace.
I'm telling you everything. I'm just like, oh my
I'm
god.
listening. I'm eating.
Just like, he had a bloodlust on, he just kept, she had just pounding and pounding and pounding. Just did not stop. It was great. She must have got a fight with the ref.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Should have been there. Should have been there. Should have
Yeah.
bet. Could have been a rich man.
Could have been, but I'm not.
Well, schnickerdoodle. Are there any specialty shops here? Anything that we couldn't find in Yukel?
Oh no, you are in Yugal.
Oh, we are. I thought we went to the place near the mountain. Okay, never mind.
No, and
He
the
lives
place
in a cabin near
Yeah.
the mountain.
it's not a
they said there
fancy.
was okay, never mind.
But you know that there's some pretty fancy shops and stuff in in the where the capital used to be.
Yeah.
And it's being somewhat rebuilt to a certain extent. So you imagine you could blow your money when you get to there. But yeah, I guess that's a good place to wrap up. We'll start with the trip to Fenris next time.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Thoughts on today's session?
We played D&D.
Yeah.
We played D&D.
Rolled some dice.
I rolled a lot of
Describe some
D6s.
Yes, you did. Boggs. So, we had mentioned last time about him being a hermit and how the hat might change things.
Yeah.
So how did that go for you playing, and then what do you think the carousing thing, how would he take that away?
Yeah, well, I definitely tried to become more involved in social situations, particularly when we were in the town the first time. It didn't really work out very well. But at least it gave me something to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as getting laid, I think, he was pretty withdrawn from larger society, even before the accident. So he probably has not. I don't know if he's a virgin, but he's certainly not a ladies' man, just because of the lack of people around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it probably would have been no small thing for him to feel the touch of a lady or man. I don't know which one he would prefer now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's
Yeah.
life changing or anything.
Yeah.
I think he's probably pretty happy about it. Maybe he'll turn into a huge slut and try to hit
Hell yeah.
brothels every time. Actually, maybe he will. Maybe that's where I'll start spending all my money.
It's kind of unique, like spending money because like I like win all this gold. I'm like I got nothing to do. You can't buy magic items here. At least not. I mean, maybe we'll find some underworld opportunities to buy magic items, but there's not like I can't just go to ye old magic shop and get like a haversack or something.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? It's funny how even when Boggs was given the opportunity to be like a normal looking person, he's like, oh yeah, you're the servant boy, get the fuck out of here, like.
Yeah.
So he still kind of got relegated too.
Yeah. So far, I haven't been a noble yet, which I guess makes sense because it's 10 to 12 is noble, so it's pretty small chances.
So.
But yeah, I can see how that would come in handy.
One question, because we had talked about like how the the 6-second rule in combat kind of is a little bit like hard to like envision. All these things happening. Then one round of combat can take like up to 10 minutes sometimes.
Oh yeah.
For 6 seconds of like game stuff. So like, what are some other like D&D things that make it hard to envision or like there's like a disconnect between how reality works versus how game stuff works.
I think it's like the order. Like, so the idea I think is like this is all happening like at once, but it's so like staccato. Like, because when there's like so many things going on, it's really weird to think about how you could hit someone and then subsequent 6 seconds later are happening, and that person is just like standing still waiting for their turn to like, if you get hit or like to run away. Like reactions are very few and far between.
I think the idea is more like the whole turn is 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just you got the jump on the 6 seconds first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because you like that's initiative. You reacted the fastest out of everybody. It's like it's like you could really do like some weird smash up things where it's like in one turn. What happened last time is you shot the guy, ran upstairs. He turned, boom! He got hit by my thing, and then I like rush up to him and taunt him, and then he smashes into me twice with his thing. Like you could like imagine them all happening like really relatively in a compact period of time. It just feels like it's all elongated because of the way we do the combat, or because we're making decisions and rolling dice and and narrating what's going on.
Yeah. The worst for me is when combat begins and I have to roll for like 5 or 6 different people, and then like I'm like switching between tabs for stats and everything, and like a lot of times like I'll read up on all of these characters like abilities and like their class traits and stuff like that, but in the moment when I have to take account for everyone's health, everyone's order and all that stuff, I forget about some of those things. So sometimes granted, I was waiting to sneak attack with every one of these fuckers, but like they never got to sneak attack you because none of you were like within 5 feet or of an enemy when they attacked, or they didn't have advantage on the thing. So like it was a very unfortunate setup for them. And the one time the hobgoblin hit, like, so he was able to do an extra D10, which is I was like waiting for. I was like, I'm gonna fuck these guys up in one turn, because all it had to do was they had to have another enemy within 5 feet. So he was gonna fuck up like Boggs or Bruna, but then because Mags was able to get his attention away, now the 10 extra stuff is gone. When your HP is like around 30,
just
that's
tank
like a big
things.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
The warlock tank, just like the game was imagined to be played.
Yeah.
I mean, I love breaking class. Like I have a Goliath bard that has very high HP because she has good constitution. Because she's a Goliath, she gets an extra 2 to strength. So that was like another nice benefit. So like she's built where she's mostly doing range stuff, she's mostly picking people off with spells, but if they come close to her, like, she still has, like, a leg to stand on, whereas, like, most magic users... What?
Elkabong.
What's that?
It's an old cartoon where the hero hits people with guitars.
Nice.
And yells, kabong!
I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like, whereas most magic users like, don't come near me, I have a -1 strength thing. But yeah, and it's funny because Bruna was no, what was she? I think I had her as a wizard. I forget off the top of my head. But she had a -1 to strength, but she still passed the grapple check because the guy rolled so poorly and she rolled so well. So like this little dwarf magic lady was like just
Biting at a
grappling and
dude.
biting, and the guy kept failing his strength checks. Like he was like rolling 1s and 2s the whole time. So it's not just like how we as players change our characters, but also how the dice can change how a class like can work, like
Mm-hmm.
not completely, but just
in
like
a particular
instances.
encounter, yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts further on that?
I like smashing things.
Yeah, smashing things and stuff. Backstories. We're gonna get back to that because I know that I made a few choices for based on some backstories that I've gotten. Bugs, you're up next, just so you know. But you know, some of it's good news and some of it's bad news. So if we could talk about maybe like the power of the DM and versus like how much control should they have on the character's backstory, based like building off of the backstory, not changing the backstory necessarily. Taking those little breadcrumbs of like things they can tweak.
Oh, I welcome it. Absolutely.
I think it helps like bring the characters both into like the narrative, but also the world. I think there can be a feeling often playing D&D that you create this character and this backstory, and then it's just kind of just more or less the reason for why that person's there. I think getting it like expounded upon is like really beneficial to both, like it's just really beneficial to the campaign. Not that it has to drive the campaign or be the campaign, but yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think it's, I mean, you don't make the backstory, for no reason. And
Yeah.
so, part of the reason you make it is you hope that it influences possibly the way that things play out in the future.
Yep. Oh man, I had a thought in my head and I forgot it. Hopefully someone can bring up a question while I think of the question that I was going to lead into next.
We don't have any audience questions. It looks like we got a little less in terms of viewers today. Not
good.
that we're mad at you guys. You're just gonna watch the VOD. I get that.
Also, I think like I don't know how much we've actually talked about it, but the idea of like thinking like the DM responding to players' backstories, but like also the DM responding to player choices and how that changes the campaign or changes the direction of like how things unfold. Have there like been any moments where like we did something that changed how you were like planning out?
Yeah. Yes, the first fucking session, or I guess the second one, but
oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a thread that I'm not pulling yet, but it's a thread that will be pulled. I don't know how exactly, but it's gonna happen. But yeah, I actually really love it. Because like it's just like the best laid plans of mice and men. Like there's no telling what's going to happen, and it really reinforces the fact that like the DM isn't like the sole holder of all the secrets.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's part of it, and everyone is able to change that narrative. There was one time where I was playing in a campaign, and we were playing with a lawful evil character. And he played it very well. Like like a lot of times people will be lawful evil and they'll just be chaotic evil or some BS like that. And there was this community where they came up to us and like they looked threatening, and it was essentially like they looked threatening and they were going to attack me, so therefore I had the right to attack them, and I just cast one spell, and that spell happened to he centered it on the point of the crowd, and they had such low HP, and it was just a one spell, one hit kill an entire fucking village. Well,
wow,
not the whole village, but like there was like it was like a large area of effect, and they had low HP, and he essentially killed like 30 people in one attack because they had like 4 HP,
Jesus.
So that changed the whole campaign because now we're wanted murderers. And he was like, well, they attacked me, and what am I going to do? And the DM's like, yeah, what are you going to do? But now I have to change everything because the whole campaign was built on the assumption that we could, go everywhere without being wanted criminals, which was no longer the case. So that was probably like one of my favorite parts of that. I remember my question now. So in the beginning, there was some very classist and racist and undertones and stuff like that. And when I was writing it, I was like, okay, it's a real world situation. Like this exists here. It can exist in fantasy. But when it came to playing out, I was so uncomfortable. Not just what I was saying, but everyone was taking. Well, you not so much, but all three of us were taking part in this very hegemonic, existence, pretty much. I'm not sure if we wanted to talk about that at all.
I wish we'd spent a little more time in that place, actually. I think it would have been pretty interesting to sort of have the party on both sides of the divide.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, we had to move on.
Yeah, I felt like that maybe was an instance where time constraints are kind of I'd just rather keep moving and get to the next big thing rather than talk to these posh rich people.
Yeah.
I also think that plays into character as well, because I think we were all as our characters were feeling that as well. We were here for one reason. We definitely
we just
felt
killed
and
the
knew.
babbling creature.
Killed the babbling creature.
Yeah.
Well, we had to navigate this rigid class structure. And so it's just why would we want to spend more time here when we don't have to?
Mm-hmm.
So Franz had a very mocking voice the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm glad no one called him out on it.
Yep. And it's funny that you guys ended up talking to one of the least offensive rich people there, who is just one of those ambivalent rich people, as opposed to the ones that are actively trying to keep that going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't know what he did, but or what business he runs or anything like that. But at least you could, you knew that he wasn't a witch hunter type.
Yeah.
Gossipy, sitting at afternoon tea talking about, which person committed an atrocity on polite society or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I brought questions, but I kind of went through them. I'm not sure. We've got a lot of time left,
Well,
so
we end early.
yeah, it's not the end
Um,
of the world if we end early.
Yeah, if you have any questions, chat, obviously feel free to ask
Yeah,
them.
the one person.
We got two now.
Oh, we got two. Oh, crap.
Oh boy.
Yeah, feel free to ask us questions. I mean, I think it's I'm excited that we're kind of we're clear as a group that we want to get straight to Nor, Feanor, and get to the capital as soon as possible. Because I mean, we could just dilly dally and
You could.
go through the entire list.
You could, and there's enough side quests in this area that you don't have. That's another thing about player character thing is you don't have to follow the main campaign. Yes, it's very clear that the main thread is leading you towards the capital area.
Yep.
But there's still enough that you can explore around here and even elsewhere. So that's another fun thing where yeah, there's a plot, but just like video games, you could do all the side quests and avoid that main old quest.
Yeah, that's what I miss about old sandbox games. A lot of games still they force you back on the narrative. You can go do X, Y, and Z. My favorite example is Oblivion. You actually reach a point where you have to start the main story to get the rest of the game to move on and change the world state and respond to the Oblivion gates being opened.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you can do a crap ton of other things outside that, eventually you kind of reach that wall. That's something I've always liked about D&D. You can say fuck you and go east instead of west.
That's part of the game design of having an actual person on the other end. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Any other discussion points? Or I feel bad ending terribly early, but I'd rather do that than just drag on for...
Chat, anybody?
Yeah, you got the next 60
call.
seconds, chat, if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll call it a day, and I'll bring more questions next time.
I'm feeling tired, that's all. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I feel the
I
same.
didn't bring my caffeine today.
I did, and
We're
that's
at-
why I had to take a bathroom break.
We're in an awkward spot where now we don't need to turn on the light during our session, but it's too dark in here to turn on getting tired.
Fair enough. All right, I guess that'll be that. If you wouldn't mind hitting stop streaming.
Yeah,
stop
you guys
recording,
have a
that'd be
great day. Thank you for tuning in.
And thank you.
And as always, keep playing.
Stay in school.
Y'all-